this obsession with protecting. Everyone from responsibility is. Everyone from responsibility is exactly what. Everyone from responsibility is exactly what.
It's not doing better. Well, whatever. What's up, everyone? What's up? What's up? How's everyone doing? I hate StreamYard. I hate StreamYard. I really do. I hate it. I really do. I mean, it's like I've been trying to figure it out a little bit, but honestly, it's annoying. It really is. Whatever. I mean, because this is the thing where I would like, unlike OBS, if you are playing a video like a video online, there's separate audio for it, right? So you could hear that audio through the whatever, right? Through the program. But I don't know, for whatever reason, it has to hear it through the mic, which is annoying because then I have to make it really loud, right? So I have to make it loud. So it is what it is. Hopefully, yeah, whatever. It is what it is. So, okay. So what do I want to talk about? Tonight, right? I've been doing for about a week or so, right? Little bit over a week. I've been doing the mobile live stream, right? The mobile live streams. I guess I want to talk about a little bit of a recap, my thoughts and stuff on it. Yeah, I've been doing a bit mobile live stream where, we can talk about topics, but whatever, topics that I think of and something that any of you, if you guys would want to think up as well. So I'm down for any opinions, right? If you guys have any topics that, would be fun to talk about, right? So that would be interesting. That gets a lot of views. Not a lot of subscribers. It is what it is, right? I don't care. I don't mind. It's not the biggest deal. But it's been fun, right? It's been fun, having some back and forth with people, talking to some people, some new people. So that's awesome. It has been, it's helping me develop thicker skin, right? It's helping me develop thicker skin since, it's helping me since, I get a lot of trolls. I get a lot of haters. Haters, trolls, I don't care, right? I've said it in the lives where it is what it is. I'm fine with it, right? I'm fine with the trolls. I'm fine with the haters. But again, like I said this before, right? A while back, I had a very very viral opinion piece, right? A video I made talking about I support the deportation of illegal immigrants. Went pretty viral online, and it got me kind of banned too. But I got so many death threats from it. So many death threats and insults from that video. I mean, I have a pretty thick skin, right? So, that is, but it's been a while, right? It was a little while that I got any hate in any videos, I mean, once in a blue moon, I do get some hate, but I mean, it's been a while since I got any hates. So it was interesting to get hate live, but it's fine, right? I'm not saying I'm crying about it. I'm just recapping it. So it's interesting. It's interesting to get, the hates online. It's interesting. I don't mind it. It's fun. I think it's fun and interesting, right? I think it's fun and, to interact with haters and trolls, right? It's part, right? It's part of the deal. That's why not everyone can do, content creating. Not everyone can do it because honestly, you either get emotional or you'll get, what would I say? You either get emotional or you get butthurt, right? You get emotional, you get butthurt. So for me, I'm not emotional about it, nor am I butthurt about it because I know that there will always be trolls and haters. But it's cool, right? I think it's fun. I do think it's fun. It introduced me to some new, viewers, so that's always a good thing. But yeah, I think it's fun. And like I said, if you guys have any topics, any conversation ideas, please, comment it on any of the videos. Just mention, these are some maybe cool prompts or, debate or conversation topics that, I could do, right? So tonight, call-in show. If you want to join, you guys could. Don't have to, but if you want to, you could. I'm just going to react to some videos. So if you guys want to join, you guys can. All right, if you guys want to join, you guys could. If you want to, talk about the videos I'm watching, we could talk about them. If you want to talk about any other topics, we can do that. All right, so it's all good. All right, let's get started. Let me double check, right? I'm going to play the audio for a little bit.
They say things like, it's predator.
Okay. I hate StreamYard. I really do. I mean, to be honest, if I don't do call-in shows, I would not really be using StreamYard. But I mean, I said I wanted to dedicate more time to stream, to call-in shows. So I'm trying to. I don't know. I'm on the fence, right? Because I don't get as much traction with the call-in shows. I'm not like as big as AJ's channel, nor do I have as many active live viewers as AJ. So I don't usually get many I don't usually get as many live viewers. So I don't have many people who would want to join. I mean, this is the thing. I'll keep on thinking, should I just wait until I get a bit bigger, or if I do get a bit bigger, to make call-in shows? But I don't know, right? It's fine. I don't mind. All right, let's check out these videos. There's this new creator, right? Relatively new. He's gone pretty big too. 8,000 subs. It's called Truth and Frame. Steve, what's up, my brother? What is up? What's up? Thank you for being here. This is an amazing creator, right? I just recently found him out, right? Truth and Frame. Man is mad smart. The guy is mad smart. This is a thing where I said this before. I may try to do some debate stuff, back and forth conversation, but I admit I'm not like, top tier intellectual, right? I said this before. I'm just a nobody with an opinion, right? I'm just a nobody with an opinion. Now, this is also why I'm always have an open mind, right? I'm not pig-headed or really stuck on any kind of views. So I'm always have an open mind because honestly, one, I'm kind of lazy, right? I'm not desiring to look really hard on any one particular ideology, right? One particular anything, right? I'm not trying to look it up that well. And two is like, to be honest, I don't care that much. I don't care that much, but I always like having a decent conversation, right? A fun, a fun opinionated conversation it's always nice. So that's why, I said this. There's smarter people than me. Okay, they're smarter than people than me. So that's why I never view that. Oh, I will get big or not. I just feel like, you know what, just an average man with an opinion. That is it. But here's this man that's mad intellectual, right? It seems like he seems pretty smart. Truth in frame. So he does, breakdowns of, debates and things like that. So I always like to listen to him from time to time. So he did a breakdown on this one, a debate of Andrew Wilson. So let's check it out.
Or they don't have agency, not because they understand the logic, but because it sounds virtuous. The irony is that this obsession with protecting everyone from responsibility is exactly what creates the weakness they claim to fight. When you believe 18-year-olds are mature enough to vote on national policy, but too fragile to handle alone, you're not being moral, you're being incoherent. It's the kind of argument that only survives in echo chambers where logic is treated as aggression. Watch how that unfolds in this debate.
He says, no, I'm 100% against predatory student loans. No, he's against predatory loans for everybody. Whatever's predatory for the loan is what he's against. That's fair enough. But he's not specifically against loaning 18-year-olds money, are you?
I'm against it being predatory.
Yeah, again, are you against loaning 18-year-olds money?
I know.
Of course.
How does that not follow from what I said?
Because the idea here is that at the same time you're trying to say they don't have enough requisite agency to make the determination as to what is predatory, you still make the claim that they can assert what is or is not predatory by saying still give them loans. How do they assess whether or not the loans are predatory or not? They don't have a...
This is the thing, right? This is what I hate. I'm sorry. This is what I hate about the left, right? Or, I hate certain people in general, right? Anyone. It's the lack of accountability, right? It's a lack of, autonomy or perceived autonomy. So instead of putting the onus on the 18-year-old, right? Putting the onus on the 18-year-old who was stupid enough to get a crazy ass loan, you're going to put it on the predatory loan lender, right? That's what you're going to put the onus on. It's okay for an 18-year-old to get a loan, right? But if the loan is bad for the 18-year-old, no. It is the lender's fault because it's predatory. I really hate the lack of accountability. I really do. This is a thing where I said this before, right? I don't hate women. Red door. What's up, my sister? What is up, my sister? I don't hate women, right? I don't hate anyone, right? I don't hate anyone. What I do hate, what I do hate is delusion, right? Being delusional to a certain degree, right? I mean, I hate delusion, right? And unless I can think of a scenario, but I hate delusion. I hate hypocrisy, right? I hate hypocrisy. I really do. I really hate hypocrisy. And this is why I said, right? Hold me to it. If I'm being a hypocrite on something, please tell me. So I'm very open-minded, right? If I'm being a hypocrite on something, tell me, and so I can see it and like, you know what? You're right. I want to grow. I want to change my point of view because I said this before. Don't be such a pighead. Don't hold on to such, whatever ideology you have so strongly. So I hate delusion and hypocrisy. And usually those fall into either women or the left. Now, of course, men sometimes can be that too, or the right can be that too. But I find it a lot of times, women and the left.
Agency, bro.
I'm not saying they don't have agency.
So why? So how are the loans predatory?
Because you can draw particular lines as to what isn't predatory.
Well, what is predatory about a student loan?
It's a ton of fucking money. I actually maybe think that you shouldn't be able to loan an 18-year-old like $50,000 right out of high school.
Because they don't have the requisite agency to make that decision?
Sure, probably.
Okay, so but to vote they can, including voting on policy.
This is a thing where you may think that you shouldn't be able to loan a 18-year-old 50 grand. But at the same token, an 18-year-old should not be, borrowing 50 grand. I mean, literally, come on. It's a concept of borrowing. Do you think you can pay back 50 grand? Most people cannot. Right? Most people cannot, and it's not easy to. So it's like, and this is the thing where when I was in college, I got loans, but I didn't, if I got a decent amount of loan, I didn't spend it on whatever. I actually kept it and then, paid it back, paid back the loan, or I didn't even get the high loans or anything. Brent, what's up, my brother? What is up? You guys are amazing. I love you. You guys are amazing.
Which would allow 18-year-olds to borrow $50,000?
Sure, Andrew.
Fucking genius level argument,
okay.
bro.
Okay, let's pause for a second, because clearly words are being thrown around without meaning. A predatory loan isn't just a large loan or one someone later regrets. It refers to lending that takes advantage of people through hidden terms, excessive interest rates, or deception that traps them in debt. It's about manipulation, not just...
This is the thing where, like, a couple years ago, and I was taken advantage of in the sense that I was fooled. I was scammed, right? I was scammed. Someone was scamming me saying, "Oh, we have this job. We have this job for you, right? You want it? It will pay a lot of money. It was amazing work. Remote work, all this stuff." To be honest, during that time, I was desperate for work. So I was an idiot. They said, "Oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, we're going to send you some money. We're going to give you a check. Send you a check. We're going to send you a check so you can buy your house equipment, equipment for your house, laptop, and all that shit." I was like, wow, okay, send me a check. They sent me a check. Okay. And I was an idiot, right? I didn't know anything. I didn't really know a whole lot of that shit. So they sent me a check and said, "Oh, deposit that check, right? And here's one of our distributors for office equipment, all right? Deposit that check and send that money to this distributor or whatever that has office equipment for you." Okay, I was like, okay, why not? I posited the check, sent that money to the people, only to think that, you know what? In reality, that was stupid, right? In reality, that money, it was a scam. Mega Man. What's up, fatty? How goes the show? It's all good. So this is a thing where I could have blamed whatchamacallit. I could blame the scammers, but in all honesty, I was stupid about it. Evil Eddie, I feel fat and sassy tonight. Here's the thing, right? I don't mind. Right on, brother. Oh, I feel like only idiots wants to insult other people, so I allow people to be idiots. Right? You have the freedom to be an idiot. Laughing man. What's up, my brother? What is up? Okay. Andrew Wilson is a loser, high key. He talks all that wife virgin crap, but he married a woman with kids by 3 different dudes. No, he's one of the 3 different dudes. She had kids by 2 dudes, and he's the 3rd one. And he was her last husband. He is the cleanup man. Wow, you sound red pill, my brother. Right? Calling the man who went with a single mother, you sound red pill. I mean, maybe you are red pill, right? Men that, insult other men, it sounds like you're trying to be alpha, right? Maybe you're a big alpha man, right? So how can he be the red pill king? He doesn't call himself the red pill king. You sound more red pill, right? You sound more red pill for insulting a man who's married to a single mother. So I don't know. If anyone read your statement, it's your comment. Sounds like you are red pill, my brother. All right. The man is a Christian. He doesn't subscribe to red pill ideology. Man never calls himself red pill. All right, let's continue.
Risk. But that's not what's happening with student loans. The rates are public, the terms are disclosed, and everyone knows what they're signing. Of course, you can criticize the system or argue it's unwise, but that doesn't make it predatory. So the inconsistency in Oliver's argument is this. He claims 18-year-olds don't have enough agency to take on loans, yet he also suggests they're capable of voting on the policies that create those loans. He can't hold both positions consistently.
Steve, that's cynical. I give it 3 years, he will be divorced. I mean, I don't believe that, right? I believe like what I've seen, right? So I've only seen the surface level. So I'm not really deep into their relationship. I'm not really that deep into their relationship. So, his wife doesn't seem like the person who divorced like that. She divorced her ex because her ex was abusive. So look at this. This man is an alpha. Tubby, I show my alpha when I get drunk with you. Atomic wedgie over the head in front of chicks as it used to be when jocks ruled. You tubbies and lames, and society was happier then, bro. Man, ooh, God, what a alpha, right? Man, that ooh, what an alpha, right? Ooh, I'm scared. I'm scared of jocks. Oh, God. People over the internet saying a whole lot of shit. So scary. What? You can't see the video? What are you talking about? Could you not see the video? Because I can see it on stream. Could you guys see the video? Oh no, because I paused it. I paused it. Sorry. I paused it.
And that's exactly what Andrew is pointing out.
Why do most holsters feel like a punishment? Poking, pinching, impossible to draw.
Against my interest, and I still think.
Steve, it's fine. I don't mind trolls, right? Let him. To be honest, I think the man is sad, right? Calls himself a jock. Probably. We all know, the life of jocks, right? So the guy's trying to let off steam. So he's hurt, which is. Here's a jock complaining about Redpill. So it is what it is.
I think they should be able to vote, Andrew.
Yeah.
This is the thing. You're like, oh
I'm
my
not
God,
making the
people
argument.
could vote and it could go against what you want, Oliver. Oh my God, did you know democracy can dissolve democracy? I do. I'm not saying it can't.
Bro.
I'm saying those people should still
This
be able to
argument
vote on
doesn't
this.
track, though. Then why don't we have 17-year-olds vote?
I mean, they probably should.
16-year-olds?
I think that anyone, it's an interesting argument, but I'm sympathetic to the idea that anyone who has the ability to be in the voting booth should probably be able to vote.
That would be 10-year-olds.
Probably. What? So, Andrew, here we go. Now, granted.
I'm going to go have a smoke while
Okay,
I
I'm
ponder
gonna,
about
hold on,
10-year-olds
hold
voting.
On, hold on. I'm gonna.
This is funny, right? Mega Man, show me your check. Alright, show me your check. I love trolls because literally they honestly they have nothing to stand on. Trolls are so funny. I mean, trolls are no different than incels.
And rightly so, because with that logic, saying anyone should be allowed to vote if they can physically step into the booth, 16-year-olds, maybe even 10-year-olds, it would follow that if a 3-year-old can crawl in, they should get a vote. That's not a philosophical position.
And that's the insanity, right? That's the insanity of the left, right? Just like how they believe that, kids can they have the ability to choose if they are of a different gender or not. Right? They are. You can let children choose to go through transitions. It's like absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. I mean, like, and this is why it's like annoying when it comes to the left, right? This is why it's annoying when it comes to the left.
Absurd, because voting isn't just about showing up. You need judgment, knowledge, and responsibility. You can't say kids should be making big decisions for the country while also acting like 18-year-olds are too immature to handle a student loan. This is exactly the kind of inconsistency Andrew is pointing out. It's not about fairness or principle. It's just showing the limits of the argument. Push it this far, and the whole thing falls apart.
Actually explain this, because I think it's an interesting argument, and I've seen some people make compelling points for it. Andrew, the same arguments as to why children should not be able to vote are the same arguments that people pose against women voting. Oh, they're just going to vote like their parents do. They're just going to vote like their husbands do. They don't have the requisite knowledge in order to make this information. Most people don't have the requisite knowledge and information to make stuff. So if kids...
Controversial opinion. I think most people shouldn't vote. Controversial opinion. I think most people shouldn't vote. You know, because I think most people don't have skin in the game, nor do they have, accurate, opinions or logic when it comes to voting.
You're actually making a compelling argument against most people voting.
You're
making a better argument against most people voting than you are for children to be able to vote.
Okay, if we allow everyone to vote, then we should allow children to vote. If you're saying we shouldn't allow...
We don't allow everyone to vote.
I know,
Do we allow prisoners to vote?
No, but
should they be able to?
Yeah, I think
of course, and 10-year-olds. Yeah, so here's the idea here, right? This is what's so funny about this argument.
Yeah.
The reason why you thought this argument was good is because you talked to nothing but fucking leftists. And so you share a paradigm. Because you share the paradigm, you forgot about the criticism to the paradigm.
No,
the paradigm is, well, it's really hard for us within our worldview to justify why it is a 10-year-old shouldn't be able to vote, because we start with the presupposition everybody should be able to vote. You start with that supposition already.
That's not the presupposition.
You already start with the idea that everyone, that's the only thing that holds this worldview up. What else holds it up?
That people who are affected by the policy that they're passing should be able to vote.
That would be everybody.
I think largely, yes.
Including 9-year-olds.
Sure.
And here I'll even say 1-year-olds, even newborn babies. By his logic, they should get a vote too, because they're affected by government policies. Honestly, it feels like he doesn't think before he speaks. The foundation of his argument is just dumb. It completely ignores judgment and responsibility. The whole thing collapsed.
Yeah, I mean, like, one of the things that Andrew said, that, if you have government service, if you work for the government, part of the military, do community service, you own a business, things like that, it gives you more stake in the game to vote. So I kind of agree, because I think a lot of people vote with like misinformation. They don't really know a whole lot, so they their votes are just honestly very foolish.
Is the second you actually think about it.
So then the idea here is that because everybody should be able to vote, that includes children. But here's the interesting part. Then you come up against my paradigm. And I don't start with the supposition that everyone should be able to vote, even if everything affects them.
Equality is not the basis.
No, because that's stupid. It's actually functionally stupid. Do you want prisoners to be able to vote that they can give themselves guns in prison?
Give themselves guns in prison? Yeah, they can vote on that. They're gonna get outvoted, Andrew. And there can still be, there can still be protections in democracy that don't make it mob rule.
See, this is what happens when your whole worldview is built on this fantasy of equality. You end up saying prison...
PP drum.
Equality. You end up saying prison...
PP... It's hard, right? Or, you know what? I'll move back a bit. I'll move back a bit for the volume thing. Yeah, it's coming from the mic. I don't know. I can't figure out how to have the video come from, I don't know, the program. So I'll stay back from the mic a bit.
partners should be allowed to vote to give them.
I can't figure it out. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I try to look in the settings, but my settings don't show anything else. So I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know. We'll see you next time. But I'll stay away from the mic a bit so it wouldn't be so loud. All right, let's continue. Let's continue.
Themselves guns because they'll just get outvoted. That's insane. That's not an argument. You don't justify chaos by hoping the majority keeps it in check. And look at how that logic plays out in real life. Gun laws in some states are so loose you can practically walk into a store and buy a gun like it's a household item. That's democracy, right? People voted for it. And the same emotional reasoning drives other extremes. Policies that defend ending a pregnancy right before birth as a matter of choice. That's what happens when feelings replace structure.
That's fine. I'm not saying that we should give prisoners guns. I'm saying that
But you want them to be able to vote on being able to give themselves guns.
I want them to be able to vote on that, but
Yeah.
I think there can be overriding considerations. I think that there can be
Yeah.
overriding considerations,
There can be
Andrew.
I think they could be should
Hold
be
on,
able to vote.
Hold on. Look at the Bill of Rights.
Okay.
We have something that is designed to counter the majoritarian practice of voting.
No, actually
Yes.
at the local level, what is it? What is it?
At the ordinances and statutes.
No, ordinances and statutes. So, have you ever heard of the sannyasins?
Enlighten me, Andrew.
Okay, so the sannyasins took over, they were a cult, and they took over a small town. I don't remember, I think it was in Oregon. You can pull up where the sannyasins were, I don't remember where it was. But they took over the entire local town because what they did was they moved in, they bought land right next to it, thousands of acres. They were inside of that municipality. And so what they did was they went and voted themselves all of the positions of power inside of that town. And they ended up poisoning a lot of people in that town, right? They took over all the police stations, everything else. The problem that you have is the 10th Amendment. You forget about this, which is that powers which aren't delegated to the
reserved for the states.
They're
I'm not
reserved for the
saying they're
states.
not reserved.
Localized municipalities within those states in
My state has open carry, but you still have to have a background check before purchasing. You know, I just got my my gun license, so you know I'm thinking about it because I just recently a friend of mine let me hold a revolver. I don't know. I'm definitely tempted.
especially prison towns, the prisoners can actually outnumber everyone else in the town. So they could actually, by your view, if they were able to vote and have federal protections for voting, vote themselves fucking guns. And the state couldn't overrule it. They couldn't overrule it.
Again, his argument is just stupid. Think about it. Even if we grant his point that there could be overriding considerations to stop prisoners from actually getting guns, why even allow them to vote in the first place? If the system has to step in to overrule them, what's the point of letting them vote at all? It completely undermines the whole idea of voting as a meaningful act of agency. That's the problem with this logic. You can't just assume, well, protections exist, so nothing bad will happen. That ignores human behavior, local majorities, and the very real ways people can manipulate a system. The whole argument collapses the second you actually consider what could go wrong.
Here's the top 3 lies you've probably heard about mushroom.
That's annoying.
The case
It is the case.
different if states can make election law that's different from the federal government.
Can states make election laws which violate the federal Constitution?
No.
Because the 10th Amendment doesn't apply, right?
Well, the 10th
So if it is the case that there's an amendment,
but I'm saying it wouldn't.
if it is
apply
the
to
case
them.
that the 10th Amendment says you can't abridge voting for anybody, which would be exactly what we would need for everybody to vote, right? Just like we had the 19th Amendment just like we have
Why
the
can't you
19th
make a
Amendment.
carve out for prisoners? What would be the argument for making a carve out for prisoners, but not for
Because
children?
you just said everyone should be able to vote and they'll always get outvoted, but that's actually not the case. If you made the amendment for all people to be able to vote, the states could not actually tell prisoners inside of counties where there's prisons where they outnumber everyone that they can't vote themselves guns,
Hold on.
you doofus.
No, because state election law can be different. I'm not saying
No, it
should be-
can't violate federal law.
I'm saying that the federal law would probably and should have provisions in it that ensure
That not everyone can vote?
Yes, Andrew.
Oh, what? You're a fucking genius. I mean
think
exactly
that
what I proposed, that not everyone can
I think
vote?
that prisoners should be able to vote in federal elections, absolutely, because that type of policy directly affects them in a way that state
All policy affects them.
Of course it affects them, but state policy has to do with more integral things like that, and they should not be able to vote themselves out of power or out of prison. I'm not
Why
saying.
not?
Now he's trying to save face by splitting hairs. Not local elections, just federal ones. That's nonsense. If voting is a right, it applies everywhere. If it's a privilege, it's limited by behavior. You can't say moral universality and then carve out exceptions. That's pure intellectual gymnastics. And again, the whole argument falls apart. He wants prisoners to vote in federal elections because policy affects them, but ignores what happens if they actually outnumber everyone locally. You can't keep saying everyone should vote while conveniently choosing when it matters.
Yeah, that's the thing where that's why I like when I don't like when logic isn't as consistent as it should be, right? How so many like you can't make it for different situations, right? It only applies for one, doesn't apply for the other, then it really doesn't make sense, right? That's when logic really doesn't make all that much sense, when you can't really apply it consistently across the board.
The point is clear. His view only works as long as it never touches reality. The second you apply it to the real world, the argument collapses. Not because of principle, but because the framework is fundamentally broken.
They have the power to vote. Doesn't violate the federal constitution. What's the problem here?
I think the problem is you're looking at the problem of people.
The problem is you don't want those fucking people to vote.
No,
And you won't admit it because it's another inconsistency in your worldview. Just admit it.
No.
You don't want them to vote. Admit it.
I don't want them to vote at the local level.
You don't want them to vote, period, because they're dangerous to society, and you want to take dangerous people and abridge them from voting against you.
Okay.
Isn't that true?
No, Andrew, it's not.
Oh, yes, it is.
Okay.
And your worldview just got exposed real bad there, too.
Sure. I was running a style of argument, Andrew. Okay.
It's a terrible style.
Okay, thank you.
What was the argument again?
The,
Everybody should be able to
the
vote.
argument that kids should be able to vote. I think a lot of the justifications for it kind of fail on the same basis, because I understand your worldview, Andrew. Because if you think women shouldn't vote and most people shouldn't be able to vote, then you do have a consistent position. Okay.
I'm gonna there's a lot of chats to get through, so I'm gonna let them come through while we have.
This is what happens when people mistake sounding deep for actually being right. His entire framework is emotional, not logical. That's why it crumbles the moment it's questioned. Then he retreats into, I was just running an argument, as if that excuses the inconsistency. But as Andrew showed, a worldview that only works in hypotheticals isn't serious. It's...
I like that. I mean, that's the thing where you got to always have a more consistent ideology, right? But you also got to be willing to admit you're wrong. I think he should have been able to admit that he was wrong. I mean, I think it's ridiculous that you would think that everyone has the right to vote. No, I honestly, everyone doesn't. Everyone doesn't, and everyone shouldn't. It's just how it is, right? So, no, I don't think that's right at all. Steve probably is, but you know, it's fine. Let him. Thank you, Steve. I mean, this is a thing where I never claimed to be anyone special, right? I never claimed to be anyone special, and I don't mind the haters and trolls. Because here's the thing, right? At the end of the day, people who are actually hateful, I've come to find that they're actually hurting inside, right? They a lot of people who are hateful, their life sucks, right? Their life sucks. So they want to spread misery. They want to spread, that kind of mindset. So it's all good. I don't mind. I never mind. So let's stop this one because this is getting annoying. Exactly. Eddie said it, right? And I agree. I definitely agree. But again, you know what? At the end of the day, I mean, this is why I said, like, it's fine. I'm not in to try to be disrespectful to people. Trolls and haters, they do help. As crazy as it is, right? That's YouTube algorithm for you. Trolls and haters do help push the site, help push the the channel. It is what it is. All right. Here's an interesting one. I just found this video out, so I thought it was interesting. I didn't watch it, so I wanted to check it out with you guys. Right? Red Door might like this one. So this woman, her name, her channel's name is Baggage Claim. Interesting. I think I've seen her on TikTok. Before. So I might like her viewpoint. So the title is interesting too, right? The feminist narrative is crumbling. Here's why. So let's check it out. It might be interesting. I didn't watch it, so I don't know. But let's check it out.
That feminism has sold to millions of women. Feminism is always aiming for equality for women, and in many ways they have achieved that. They secured the right to vote, to have financial freedom, as well as the right to work. But as the battles have been won and equality has been achieved, the fervor for more equality has blinded them, where even inequalities that are biologically built in now need to be destroyed. This is
the thing where I've said this before, right? Yes. The start of feminism, yeah, it is what it is. They fought for what they fought for. I believe modern day feminism, it is not the fight or the aim, the advocacy for equality. Modern day feminism isn't the advocacy for equality. In my opinion, modern day feminism is the advocacy for power, right? It is women fighting so women can gain power. Guess what? Gain power over what? Men, over society. That is what I believe, right? It's not the definition, but that's what I believe modern day feminism has turned into. It's not the fight for equality, it's the advocacy for power. So
equality is most apparent when it comes to sex. Sex is not the same for men and women, and it never can be because of the risks attached for each gender. Pregnancy, assault.
Evil Eddie, what's up, my brother? What's up?
Good evening.
How you doing?
Good. It's been a while. How are you?
It has been a while. I hope you're doing well.
Same.
All right, let's watch this together.
And even getting killed are all real possibilities because at the end of the day, men are just stronger and more aggressive. And it's really hard to tell whether a man is going to honor you and take care of you because he's a good man versus a man who's just pretending to be a good man in order to have access to you. Previous generations solved this issue by recognizing sex as something very sacred because it has the power to create life. So they treated a woman's body and trust as inviolate and relegated this union between man and woman to marriage. Why? Because marriage offered a whole bunch of security that a casual encounter just couldn't. There was safety in the contract of marriage. The man was legally bound to his wife as well as to his children and had the societal and financial responsibility for them. This gatekeeping of sex was really effective because it forced men to have to work for that privilege through marriage. They had to prove to be worthy of a woman, to be worthy of someone's daughter. They had to be financially responsible, have a good reputation in their society, and show a willingness to step up to those responsibilities. Now, of course, there were instances of just terrible men pretending to fit.
And this is a thing where I think feminism has overreached, right? They have overcorrected. I think they have overcorrected. Feminism have destroyed. This is why one of the prompts I've had, right, on my mobile live streams. One of the prompts I have is that, I believe that modern day Western women should stay single because they've become delusional. They've become hypocrites. They have become, selfish. And we are seeing that in society right now. We are seeing how women have turned things all the way around, right? They have destroyed traditional values, but yet they still want to upheld them because at least the traditional values that benefit them. Okay. And this is the insanity that, right? Red Door even said it, had a group of feminists tell me their goal is to destroy patriarchy. Well, it's kind of ridiculous that women want to destroy patriarchy, but still upheld old traditional or patriarchal views or, some patriarchal ideology, right? I mean, like how many times you hear women are not dying or wanting to go 50-50 with a man, on a date or whatnot. They don't want that, right? They would not want to, and I did a prompt of that too, where, women really, they don't have the mindset nor the temperament to do traditional relationships. Because how many times we see it that women complain about being wives, of being, being part of the, the family dynamic. We see it all the time. So, I think it is kind of a crazy thing with feminism right now. So, what do you think? What's your thoughts, Evo Eddie?
I think whatever the original idea behind feminism was has lost its way along the way. And now it's more about just putting men down and getting one over on them.
No, I agree.
The bill. But overall, the system worked really well in protecting women, but more importantly, forcing men to grow up. Now, fast forward to today, where in our society, one of the biggest problems that we're facing is that men seem to be caught up in this perpetual arrested development. Even well into their 40s and 50s, there are these instances of adult toddlers, and cities like San Francisco.
I think we have an adult toddler in our chat. So I definitely understand that.
And New York have turned into Neverland, where people really just don't have to grow up. The combination of dating apps as well as the proliferation of hookup culture has ended that noble act of men courting women and honestly turned sex into a commodity. They have reduced sex down to a meaningless act. The push to have sex like men was aimed to empower women, to help them claim their sexuality and throw off societal expectations. But has it actually helped women? Aimed at freeing women, the sexual revolution has actually freed men to use women, all while telling women to feel empowered by being disposable. Like I said, this is the most dangerous feminist lie. Unfortunately, it's not the only one. Lie number 2. Women had to fight for the right to vote, while men were just granted the right to vote. Yes, women had to fight for the right to vote, but so did men. Voting is a pretty novel concept. For centuries...
I love that, right? I love that. Where, see, that's, and I love this logic where, I love this point of view where, this is the thing, I've said this before, that men and women we're not trying to fight against each other. Okay, I believe feminism has honestly created the dynamic where we're fighting against each other, right? She even said, right, feminist ideology that women had to fight for voting, but she just said that men had to as well, right? Men didn't, like, we always think that, men automatically had the rights they had, or men had power automatically. No, men didn't. Now, we had a small select few men had power, yes, but men suffered as well. That's the problem I have, where we constantly negate the fact that men suffered throughout history. And I always hate the narrative, and we constantly do it, right? We constantly put it where it's men who has power, it's men who's this, men. No, men have suffered throughout history. That's why I always hate with the narrative nowadays. And I'm not saying that, again, I always think that it's not like a okay. What's up, Alan? What is up?
Oh wait, hey guys, what's up? What's going on?
What's up?
Ooh, someone's mic is echoing. It could be mine. 1 second.
Yeah.
Any better?
Is it? Okay. I mean, it doesn't sound bad.
Yeah, it's just feedback into me. Wait 1 second. Let me leave.
Wait, no. I think it's because. How's it now?
Hello? I can still kind of hear it a little bit.
Hear a little bit.
It might be better now. Okay. Still not. It's coming through one of your speakers, I think.
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, how you guys doing tonight? What's up, Evil Lady?
Good.
Chilling.
Oh, nice to see you, Alan.
No word. I mean, who else was gonna call it? Honestly. But yeah, I don't know. What's the move tonight, gentlemen? What you boys talking about?
Just talking about the videos I'm watching. That's it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Who is this woman? I've never seen her before.
Yeah, her channel is called Baggage Claims. So she's talking about feminism.
How you feeling on this video? I was watching for a second. I get what she's saying.
Yeah, I mean, she is. This is why, man, I hate StreamYard. They always messed up audios. But I mean, again, I'm sorry guys if the audio is messed up. It's just.
Wait, one of you mute your mic. But.
Well, I can't mute my mic because that's how I mean, I think it's just the way it is. So.
Wait, Eddie, mute your mic right quick. Just for a second. Is it muted? Oh, damn, I think it's coming through your speaker then. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I'll mute mine then for the time being. I'm here. I want to learn tonight. Honestly, I feel like I've been arguing with you a little too much. I get a little too excited about it. I'm bored.
I don't mind a back and forth.
Oh yeah,
back and forth. So
I'm not here to argue with you, honestly. Like I'm seriously like I've been really taking your perspectives into account when I'm thinking about these things, and I don't know. I just thought I'd get a chance to chat with you, kind of explain things a little further. You know what I'm saying?
We could always talk. I don't mind.
Yes, sir. I love it. That's why I like you, DA.
Okay, it's all good. All right.
Let's finish the video.
Yeah. All right. I'm turning about a little louder again, so I don't know. Let's check it out.
Societies have been organized around monarchies, where one person, either the king or the queen, had all the power, while the people surrounding them were trying to have checks on that power. In the West, voting was first introduced in the 13th century, where a small percentage of the population were eligible to vote depending on land ownership. The right was slowly expanded, but even as late as 1832, in England, less than 10% of the population were eligible to vote. In colonial America, voting was restricted to land-owning men only, because property ownership meant you paid taxes, so there was this belief that if you paid taxes, you had stake in the society. Universal male suffrage did not exist until the late 1800s, where many men had to fight and die in wars before they were granted that right. So while women did secure the right to vote in the 1920s, it was only about 50 years after all men got the right to vote, around the 1870s, depending on when the states passed the laws. The idea that men just gave themselves all the power is a feminist myth. Both men and women had to earn that right to vote, because for most of history, people in power did not believe in distributing that power. This is not limited to America either. You can see that the timeline of universal suffrage is very similar across the world, meaning this was an evolution of trust in the people that all societies have had to go through. Lie number 3, women were locked up in the home by men until feminism freed them. This is the feminist myth that men had to lock women up in the home because they're afraid of feminine power. This is such a misunderstanding and disconnection from what the world used to be like, because life was really hard, not just for women, for everyone. For much of history, women stayed in the home out of pure necessity. Before electricity, washing machines, or running water, housework wasn't just about doing chores, it was survival. Hauling buckets of water, scrubbing clothes, making bread from grain that you milled yourself, sewing every piece of clothing that your family wore. These were all tasks that were absolute paramount to the family's survival. Women were doing all of this all while raising children without any modern medicine. So without antibiotics, hospitals, or vaccines. Meanwhile, it's not like the men were off to some cushy job in the boardroom. Instead, they were breaking their backs in the fields, in mines, in factories, just dealing with horrid working conditions. Or, let's be honest, dying in wars to protect their families as well as their nation. Everyone was fighting to survive. And then capitalism changed everything. The division of labor, which is one of the primary principles of capitalism, meant that people could now specialize, trade.
You know, I do want to say that I think it's funny that with the left, they do fight capitalism a lot. They hate it a lot. But it's funny, if capitalism didn't come about, I don't believe that women would be clamoring to be equal to men or have the same jobs of men, particularly jobs that men have in the past have had. So I always think that's funny that, you know, capitalism is a big thing that, you know, pretty much set the stage for women to more see desirable, you know, situations to try to gain more rights, right? I mean, office work, you know, capitalism produce a lot of inventions. So I always think that that's interesting. Plus, I also think that this is a thing where part of this is the divide, where we constantly think that, again, I always believe that feminism is, you know, it's constantly trying to fight that against men, but how they go about it is really weird, where it's because men weren't doing better than women. Not drastically. Now, I think feminism constantly focus on the top percent of men. And I think in every, I guess, generation or whatever, they constantly focus on the top percent of men, not men in general. Because when you focus on men in general, I think a lot of feminist ideology will fall apart, or their hate or whatever towards men will fall apart. So, you know.
Can I ask you a question?
Wait. Go for it.
Are you good? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
My bad. My mic might tweak out. I don't mean. If it does, please let me know.
No, go ahead.
No, you said something really interesting, because I do actually tend to agree with you on that point, like a lot. Actually, yeah, life sucked for everybody. You know, when you trace it that far back, and I kind of get what you're saying. But I mean, so you're saying that capitalism created the system in which women wanted to have to break out of it?
No. I think capitalism created the opportunity, or what is it, the scenario that women desire. So capitalism helped push, you know, the industrial age, helped push the inventions of things. So let's say AC,
Oh, yeah.
let's say, you know, more push towards office environments, right? So capitalism is a very integral part to why feminism, you know, one integral part why feminism would came about, because again, women weren't desiring to work in the mines, work in industrial factories, work all the laborious jobs that older generation of men were fighting or were taking up. Women aren't desiring that. And you can see that today too. Women aren't desiring the blue collar jobs of men. Women aren't desiring the, you know, the very laborious jobs of men. They don't desire that. But what they do desire is the office jobs of men, right? But again, that's thanks to capitalism.
But I don't think that's really a men issue. I think you're framing it wrong.
I
And,
didn't
no
say it's a
disrespect to
man
you,
issue. I said
no,
it's a
but I don't
capitalism.
think that women are fighting against men to get better jobs. I think they're just fighting to get better jobs.
No.
Especially when our job market is expanding at the rate that it is. Like, yeah, I mean, you have to admit that it makes a little bit of sense for women to be like, yeah, why aren't we also getting these jobs? Why aren't we getting these promotions?
But see, that's why, again, that goes back to what I'm saying. One, I think it's ridiculous when, I'm not saying you, but there are many leftists, many Democrats or whatever, they are very against capitalism, which I think it's funny, because capitalism pretty much was the one of the you know, catalysts for feminism to want to be even, you know, implemented. And I'm not saying that women are fighting against men. I'm saying if women make a difference where they think they're fighting against men, or whatever their ideology is against men. It's not against men. It's against top tier men. But they use this is why women clump, or feminism clump all men together, essentially, because they're like I said, they're not fighting to work plumbers or equal rights to be plumbers or bricklayers or anything.
Yeah,
they
but, like,
want to
why
be
would
equal
they?
to. Why would they?
Yeah, but like what? I mean, like that's. I don't understand.
Why
I
would
hear
they?
you say
That's
that a lot.
equality. That's equality, right? That's why,
Okay, but
and that's the
men
thing where I said
designed
it.
a system in which men have to work shitty jobs, and now it's only what 125 years, 105 years after they can vote. Do you think they're gonna want to go back to like shitty job equality? No, they just want to make more money.
But see,
That
that's
makes
the thing
sense.
where,
You might not agree with it, but it makes sense.
Well, I mean, see, this thing where I'm not disagreeing with making more money. And here's the thing, right? I don't disagree with people wanting the best. Yeah, why would you want to be a bricklayer instead of, like, let's say, a CEO? Of course.
Exactly.
But here's the thing where, again, when I said where the faultiness of feminism is that you're not fighting. Your ideology is not against men. It's against top tier men. You're not fighting for equality with men. You're fighting for when I say it, power, because you want to be better than average men. You're not trying to be equal to average men, because that's not what you care about. You want to be equal to top tier men. And guess what? Top tier men, CEOs, men that works in cushy jobs, whatever. Well, they are more powerful, or socially or whatever, more powerful than the bricklayers, the construction workers. So you're not fighting for equality necessarily, right? At least definitely not modern day feminists. You're not fighting for equality, because if you want to be equal, well, then you should be equal in representation of, the blue collar jobs. No, what you want is the power to have higher position jobs. You want to be equal to men that are top of society. So that's where I go for.
I haven't really thought about it that way. That actually makes a lot of sense. Thank you. I do get that, actually. That computes. That checks out. Damn. Okay, that's like the best way you've explained that. Good shit.
Okay.
I don't know. I heard this. My bad. I don't. If you have something to say, please go for it.
No. Alan, much respect. A lot of respect. That's it.
Yeah, man. No, I seriously, okay, I spend a lot of time I've obviously voted left wing since I've been able to vote. You know me. I identify with their politics a lot more, but I've been spending a lot of time in more right wing-ish spaces. I'm trying to just see what the other side is saying. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get out of that echo chamber. I really mean no disrespect. I just like arguing. I'm just a fan of it. I was a debate kid.
No.
Anyway.
No.
I'm just saying, I heard this metaphor, and I want to just hear. I think this is the best metaphor that I've heard for the concept of hyper-competitive capitalism that we're in, which sounds really bitchy when I say it like that, but seriously, hear me out. So there's this tree, right? This beautiful apple tree, and the apples that are growing at the bottom of the tree, they're all right. They'll feed you. They'll keep you sustained, and they're at arm's reach, right? You're on the ground, they're on the ground level. You can reach those apples, right, without much effort. But the apples at the top, and as they ascend the tree, they get a little bit better. They sustain you a little. They taste better. They feed you a little better. You're gonna want to get to the top of the tree, right? So people start building ladders, etc. You know what I mean? You start trying to climb the tree. Then eventually someone builds a ladder, and maybe you'll help your friend up that ladder. Maybe you'll help your friend up, climb up the tree, whatever. And that'll lead to a system of somebody being at the top and then giving the opportunity to other people also getting to the top. And then, of course, there's outliers of people that build their own ladders, right? So that leads to a system of competitiveness just inherently. Now think about that, except there's a group of people that started in a hole in the ground, right? So there's already people fighting over the ladders and trying to, climbing over each other to get on the tree. There's some people that aren't even on the ground level right now to get to the shitty apples. So now we're living in an era of globalization and hyper-information, so a lot of people now understand how to build said ladders and how to get out of the ground, right? So these people that have been disenfranchised, they finally climb out of that grave and they get to the ground level. Yes, they have the opportunity now to work for the shitty apples, but then they walk up to the people with these tall ladders getting all the way up to the top of the tree, and these people with ladders are saying, no. They're saying, actually, no, you can't come up my ladder. You got to do it yourself, which leads to people moderate feminists saying that we need to build our own ladders and we need to, make all those people that you talk to or that you watch of like the hate all men, stop dating men, etc. Those are the kind of people that want to build their own ladders, right? But at the same time, there's a group of people, and in my opinion, very understandably, that just want to tear down the ladders of the bigwigs that's had it for 400 years, where they're now finally just getting the chance. You know what I'm saying? No matter what gender, no matter how you shake it, everyone wants to get to the top of that tree, and unfortunately, there's a lot of people at the top of that tree that are not extending their hand. You know what I'm saying?
I do. Alan, I get it. I get your analogy. Here's my thing, right? Do you believe the world is fair?
No. I think it could be, though. I think it could be more, and I think that fighting for more fairness is entirely moot.
Here's the thing where I mean, definitely the world's not fair, and could it be? I think we have made the world drastically more fair. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
But here's the thing where I honestly believe that it comes to a point where, I don't know if you heard this one before, where, what is it? Well, I forgot this. I forgot the thing, but it doesn't matter. I honestly believe that it comes to a point where we are creating a society for looking for handouts. So an example, right? So I don't know about maybe you are keeping in touch with it. Do you know about the Starbucks, strikes?
No.
Okay, no.
Not at all, actually.
Yvette, you heard of it?
I have heard a bit of it, yeah.
Okay, so the Starbucks strikes, which is something I'm recently thinking about, right? These are baristas, pretty much going on strike on, with Starbucks, saying they want more. Now, so, guess what? When I was like, okay, you know what? These are people who want, in my mind, I thought these people were like making $10 an hour and want, I don't know, 15, 20. Okay. Right. But in reality, when you look into their, their pay structure or whatever, they're actually making $20 an hour. They actually have medical benefits, so many benefits. They also have stock options. They have a lot of, a lot of benefits. Mm-hmm. So what I'm thinking about is that at the time we are creating society, I believe we are creating society where instead of wanting hard work, instead of wanting to work smart, they want handouts, right? So like your ladder thing is that, so instead of, building your own ladder, right? No, let me get on your ladder. No, actually let me get on your back and you carry me up that ladder. And I believe that's what we are creating in society. I get it where help is great, but when we get to a point where we are helping too many people down those generations, people don't expect help anymore. They expect you to do it for them.
I get you, but these ladders are like 25,000 feet tall, and the person at the top has a gun pointed down that shoots you if you even step on it.
Well, again, here's the thing, right? Like I said, life is not fair, right? That's the thing where
they have the opportunity to help people up and they choose not to. That's what leads to radicalism.
Well, I mean, the thing why, in my personal opinion, why I don't believe this is not like, let's say, Venezuela or like really crazy countries where I believe that they have very little opportunities. Because again, in America, there are always examples of, yes, you may not be going on a ladder of, let's say, a billionaire, but there's other opportunities where I think, again, why I've said this before, capitalism isn't perfect, but I love capitalism because it gives people opportunities. Yeah, me too. Right? You don't have to be on someone's ladder who's guarding that ladder, right? You could be on someone else. And here's the thing where I've said this before, and we have, like, the internet is amazing, right? I create my channel where I also do a bit of like investment talk, right?
Yeah.
A lot of us talking about it, right? We're talking about where, again, I think that everyone can succeed, but everyone might not succeed the same. So the power of the internet, you can find everything in the palm of your hands. And that's the power of America. So yes, I don't disagree that, helping each other is great. But again, I believe that we should also help ourselves. And I think we come to a point where I think a lot of people in society currently rather want other people to help you instead of you helping yourself. I believe that is a problem with a lot of people. Where your ideology is very, very utopian or beautiful, but you may be coming down, creating a people where they can be lazy and just expect people to give them handouts, be carried to success instead of, working hard and working smart, right? Using past generations, right? Parents, grandparents, they've taught you to work hard. Our generation and beyond should be teaching us to work hard and work smart. But the problem is now people don't want to do both. That's the problem I see. Not the problem is, people don't want to help you out. I don't think that's the problem. Because you can see, you see online, thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of videos telling you how to make money, how to do this, how to do that. So I honestly believe there are hundreds of thousands of ladders, right? I believe there's hundreds of thousands of ladders. Not exactly the, the JP Morgans or the, the crazy people, but still, right? We have created an environment thanks to social media where there's hundreds of thousands of ladders. So I don't believe, and we could also talk about this, right? I don't believe, at least in our generation, I'm not necessarily knowing what generation your father is, but again, I don't believe an adult being poor right now is not because of their choice or their own, stupidity. Right?
Yeah,
so
I am going to have to disagree with you on that. I think that there are, there are a lot of flaws in our system. We can agree on that. I love capitalism too. I think it's the best system possible, but we can't agree that it abandons a lot of people down the way.
I agree. Like I said, I don't know your father. I don't know your father. Maybe he's the exception. Maybe he's that one that,
a shitty hand.
Yeah.
He had to crawl himself out of it, and it took a while, and he's still jaded from it.
Well,
right?
So did he crawl himself out of it?
He crawled himself out of it with other help, yes. Specifically my godfather, which is why he's my godfather. I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but I mean...
No. See, this is the thing where I'm saying,
with a fucking horrible hand, he had nothing to do with it. His parents abused him, and then, they're dead, you took on their debt, you have no house. That's not his fault. That's the system's fault, unfortunately.
No.
That's just how the system works.
No, I don't disagree that there are exceptions. There are some people who honestly dealt an impossible hand. I don't disagree with that. But I do disagree to most situations, right? Again, I think majority of situations, again, maybe if I even know crazy detail of your father's life, maybe I could see the red flags or the situation that could have done better for him, right? He
definitely fucked up at some point. I agree with you. But yeah. I mean, okay, so an example like this, okay. Single father. Grew up in a single mother household. She grew up without her parents, right? So she got herself a house in a shitty area of fucking whatever. What's a good city? Let's just go to Detroit, where I'm from. Shitty house, southwest Detroit, right next to the Bandos. Bad area, but it's a house, right? Okay, so the guy grows up, her son grows up. She ends up passing away from some disease when she's 60. The guy's about, let's say 25 at this point, right? He has this house, but he has no generational wealth to hold himself on, right? He works at a factory. Factory lays him off. He was dealt that hand completely by choice, or completely by chance. Now he can't pay off his house, and it was already a shitty house to begin with, and he barely had any savings to begin with. So now he's left in this position because of the way of their hyper-competitive system, where he had access to a ladder, and he just got knocked off it. He has to start all over again, right? I don't think that's his fault for getting, laying on the ground for a few minutes. I don't think that's his fault at all. I think this country can beat you down, pretty easily, man. You know what I mean? And I think that we should have a little bit more empathy for people in those situations and not just say that, they could have done better. Because, yeah, they probably could have, but at the same time, hindsight's 2020, and these people are living without food. It's not like a hypothetical. You know what I'm saying?
Well, here's my thing, right? Hindsight is 2020. I agree, but here's the thing where it's the point where you listen to other people's wisdoms, right? So I'm not saying necessarily you or whoever, anyone, but what I've seen, right? majority of the time, this is my personal opinion, and this is my maybe anecdotal experience. What I've seen majority of the time through most people is that whatever cards they're dealt in life, and again, I've been in the situation where I live paycheck to paycheck. Account is usually zero or negative, so I've been in bad situations. I live in the car, shit like that. So I understand that. But at the end of the day, I believe as Americans, most of us, we go about life. We work hard. I don't disagree. I think a lot of Americans work hard, but the problem is we
one of
don't
the
work
hardest
smart.
working countries in the world. Yeah.
Correct. I don't think we work smart. So I promote this plenty of time. It is saving, budgeting, and investing. Now, buying a house is great, but I think most people who they put all their eggs in that basket. Oh, I bought a house, I'm good. No, because still a lot of people still live beyond their means. A lot of people don't budget correctly, and I've been there, right? Where I was like, "Where's my money going? Why, like every paycheck I have, it disappears right away." Only to, actually sit down and budget where, oh, this money goes to that, this money goes to that, to only figure out, oh, you know what, I now know where my money is going. And a lot of it is going to stupid shit that I didn't even realize. So if you, and this is the thing, like I said, I'm not saying particularly your situation, but I'm saying a lot of Americans.
I'm listening.
A lot of Americans don't realize that, they think that, I'm dealt a terrible hand by life. But honestly, if you actually review your life, review your steps, your own action, this is why I said I believe in accountability. I believe in 100% accountability. So if a lot of more people review the things they actually do in life, they would see that, you're actually not spending correctly. You're not budgeting correctly. You're not realizing how much money is going out, right? You're not realizing how much money is going out. So, and plus, you're not saving the money, right? You're spending it, I don't know, having a drink, going out late night, or fast food, whatever. Right? So you don't realize it. And all that money you could use, $1, $2. And again, I don't know about your generation, your father's generation, but I guess, recent generation, it is a bit different, right? So I definitely more sympathetic towards older generation where investing wasn't as easy or, as
that's
affordable.
how my godfather actually pulled him out. He became a day trader. And he got fucking real good at it. My godfather ended up fantastic, and he ended up. My dad lived with him for like a while, right? Just helping get it back on his feet. He ended up getting a job. Godfather ended up doing real well for himself. He didn't get any handouts from my dad, but he definitely benefited from his thriving. You know what I'm saying? And it's an interesting situation. It's not a great situation. It's definitely some fun lore, but I don't know. I 100% agree. Like that was actually kind of what he says at the very least when we get drunk together. He says that was kind of the turning point. So fuck yeah, investing. I don't understand it. I'm not even gonna pretend like I do. I should honestly.
I mean, check out my videos. I have plenty of it.
I've been watching them. I'm like, damn, that's some interesting stuff. I should maybe I'll look into that.
I promote all men to invest.
Oh, I know.
Right? I promote all men to invest. Right, we have to build ourselves for ourselves. So I've said this countless times before. I think, again, this is a thing where, this is where I'm more sympathetic to like men of older generations, because a lot of us, and I'm probably sure a lot of us, right? We had no mentors. We didn't even have a YouTuber caring about us. We didn't have a YouTuber talking to us. So, I do. This is. As many I've had detractors and stuff like that, where if you disagree or not, at the end of the day, my main concern, my main purpose is to have a brotherhood, have where I believe, I love you guys, I do, where I want to be there for you guys, and show that, because this is the thing I said before. I suffered when I was young, not having a mentor, not having someone to guide you, not someone to actually be there for you.
Yeah, no, I agree. My dad was a tough son of a bitch when I was a kid, and he's opened up a little bit now. But yeah, no, I didn't really have, my mentors were like kids that were 3 or 4 years older than me at school. You know what I mean? I looked up to them. Now I'm looking back at it, they're kind of pieces of shit. You know what I mean? Well,
and that's the thing.
I don't know. I've never had really good male experiences, I suppose. I guess I'm realizing that I didn't really have any like male. I'm the oldest of my whole family. You know what I mean? So like I never really had. I didn't have like an older brother, an older cousin, or anything to talk to. And I think that's why I'm so fucking defensive about this shit. Honestly.
No.
Because I made it
no.
work. I found a way to make it work on my own where I feel that, the punching down gets a little repetitive. I think that's my biggest argument with you, DA, honestly, because I vibe with a lot of stuff you're saying. Once you explain it a little further, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I get that. And I appreciate you explaining it. I think my biggest thing is just I think that we can work hand in hand with society as a whole to get us up them ladders instead of making it some competition where who's the most oppressed, who actually has the most problems, who deserves the ladder the most. You know what I'm saying? And I think that we actually are going for the same ideas. I think we're just going about it in different ways. Honestly.
No.
You don't think so?
I mean, I'll answer it. But Phoenix.
Yeah, what's up, Phoenix?
Big bars. Any thoughts? Any thoughts tonight?
Yeah, I just think that we don't want socialism, we don't want communism, and kind of sort of what Alan's talking about is socialism to me, and it's
What's socialism? Wait, what? No. The ladder thing is not even close to socialism.
Wait, just let him finish. Just let him finish, and then you could always talk back.
Yeah, let me finish my point. Right. And I think nowadays we're kind of pussified, in my opinion. My older elders would told me if you got shot, you better spit on it and keep on going. You know what I'm saying? And I think we're just kind of weak. We're kind of weak. We give up too fast. And I personally don't agree with. I mean, you have to tell me what you mean by what you mean by helping people. What do you mean by that? You know what I'm saying? What you mean the rich take care of the poor? What you mean?
Oh, you asking? I'm gonna cut you off.
Yeah, I'm asking you a question.
All right, for sure. I think it's a little absurd that we have a guy had, because he's fucking gone now for whatever reason. A guy worth $230 billion, lecturing us on how we're fucking up the money. I think that's just a little silly. I don't think that's socialism. I think it's just. We can admit that that's a little fucking goofy to have a South African fucking cobalt merchant talking to us about how, we need to cut the Department of Education because we're spending too much money. When he could hand out $5 to every person in the United States and it wouldn't even kind of hurt his fucking bank account. It wouldn't matter It wouldn't matter to him at all. That's why I think that the ladders are very easily obtainable. They're just stopping us from having them. Yeah, that doesn't mean that they're just going to pay for everything we do, but at the same time, we bitch and moan about Medicare when it really wouldn't be all that expensive in the first place. I don't think anyone really understands just how cheap it would be for everyone to have, at the very least, free ambulance services. But we just complain about it because we don't like this, but it's a handout, Well, that's not what America's about. That's what I consider helping people. I don't think that I shouldn't have a job. I should have a job. Obviously, you got to work for your keep, but I think that some things that are very obtainable, we just act like they're unattainable, which bothers me. You get me?
Yeah, I agree with you on some level. I agree with you, but if I work my tail off to make $10 trillion, I don't think I should be made to share. I'm sorry, I just don't. I don't think that. I don't think that way.
Have you looked into any of these billionaires though?
Dog,
most of them inherited most of the money, or the companies they ended up taking off. Well, Jeff Bezos founded Amazon, but he used it using the money that he already
Am I
had.
the only one that hears an echo?
No, everyone hears the echo. It's coming through DA's mic, but he can't really change it.
Okay. Can I say something about the Medicare thing real quick?
Go for it.
Yeah, Phoenix is finished. I didn't mean to cut anyone off.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, what's up, Buster?
I think you would have to abandon the current medical industrial complex to assume that it's not that expensive. I worked in health and life insurance and Medicare for years. It's unbelievably expensive. And that's if you assume there's no corruption.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's expensive based on the system that we already sewed for ourselves. It's not just this amorphous expense. Insurance companies fuck us every day in the ass all of the time. I have medical problems. I will die if I don't get certain medications. That sucks. I pay $18,000 a bag without insurance every 6 weeks. If I didn't have insurance, I'd be dead. So maybe I'm already a little jaded against this system that we have, but I think that the system can be easily fixed if we fucking try a little harder. I mean, Jesus Christ. I'm paying $1,000 a fucking trip. I'm paying $1,000 for an ambulance driving me 5 fucking minutes. I mean, come on now. That sucks. That sucks. We're allowed to admit that sucks.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Right. But okay, so then why don't you call an Uber? There's a reason why you don't call an Uber. Because
is that a serious question?
You don't think that an ambulance is 20 times more valuable than an Uber to the hospital?
I do think that. I do know that. But, like, we're one of the only countries in the world to not have free ambulance services.
Well,
we're genuinely one of the only
Alan, you got to know that nothing in life is for free.
Of course I do. But, no, the ambulance thing, I'm going to stick on that. Because we are one of the only... We have the best economy in the world. And we are an outlier with the ambulance thing. That sucks. We need to address that.
And we have the best economy.
Yes, so that means that we should be able to, if we're so much better than fucking New Zealand, we should be able to copy what they're doing very easily. Why don't we?
If we were
before that, before that, we continue. Alan, you done any blue collar jobs like roofing before?
No, I'm a white collar boy. I'm a city boy. I always use the brand. I'm a fucking con artist. If I'm being honest with you. Yes, sir.
All right, continue.
No, I don't understand. I don't have the full perspective. I'm fucking 21 years old. I'm just trying to get through the same way you guys are. I'm not even going to pretend like I'm even slightly wise, but these are just my opinions. I mean, I've dealt with that shit specifically throughout all my childhood up until now, and I'm still fucking dealing with it.
I would say this, right?
It does kind of suck to read that Australia fucking has free ambulances, and we still bitch about it.
But here's the thing where this is the point where you should travel, because I've lived in the UK for a bit.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, they have free ambulance, free that stuff, but their healthcare is that I've had, my ex had to wait like hours for medical service. Right? Line is crazy. I mean, so there's always drawbacks. I don't disagree that our system should be, a bit overhauled or a bit, some fixes, some patches. But again, I think nothing is perfect because there will always be drawbacks to some kind of system. That's why I think a lot of times your point of view on a lot of things is like a very magical utopia kind of thing, and it's great. But I think a lot of times it might not, be an amazing thing in reality.
And yes, I agree, but we made the system. We made the sandwich. We can take the fucking tomato off if we feel like it. That's my problem. The God himself did not come down and say, the insurance companies will set the prices for medications. He didn't do that. We did that. We did that a while ago, right? Like, we decided that. Men decided that. Powerful men decided that this is the system that we would keep, and now it's bubbling. Now there's a bubble. People are pissed, and they are the same ones that are telling us, don't be mad, that's just how it is, get fucked. That bothers me. Yeah, of course my idea of a utopian society is completely it's completely bogus, it's bonkers, it's a fugazi, it's my want, right? But yeah, we can definitely, try to make it better. I don't think there's any reason to just shut everybody down whenever they say, yeah, why not? Buses should be free. I don't think there's a problem. Even if it doesn't work out, fuck it, they tried. I'd rather them try than just say, alright, well, we're fucked.
I mean, wouldn't you argue that people as a whole have been trying since the dawn of humanity, and so far the system we've come up with is the best of all time? It's not even up for debate.
I don't think that American capitalism is the best of all time. I think capitalism, sure. I think that we created a bubble in 2008. Or not an actual, economic bubble, but a concept of distrust of the system. Because the system continues to fuck us. I mean, it's not good. That sucks. We created a system that fucks the average American. We can change the system. We just choose not to. That bothers me.
Do you think you're doing better than the average medieval serf?
Of course I am. But they had to work their ass off to even get to the right to vote, like the lady was talking about earlier. It doesn't mean that I should, that I can't compare, I can't feel bad about my life also. What the fuck?
Right, but you right now have the choice between an Uber or an ambulance. Right? So you're saying that it's not the best ever, but in every metric you could define success other than I don't like it. It's undeniably I mean, we're the culture export of the world. We're the economic power of the world. We're the military power of the world. I shit better than George Washington, right? King
Yeah.
George King George was wiping his ass with wool and hay on
Yeah, of
a
course.
log, and I'm wiping my ass with Armani branded baby wipes. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we
Yeah,
are
but that doesn't
clear.
mean that
There's
we
no
still
debate.
shouldn't keep trying to advance it. We're not the best.
Well,
Well,
that's
here's
the
my thing
system we
where
have
I
in
think
place.
here's my thing where I think we are the best, but we could be better. But here's
Like,
my
what are
thing
we
where
the
at the end of the
best
day is
in?
that
Aside from like economic growth, like what thing for the average American is American ranked number one in? Aside
well
from
we make
incarceration per capita, which actually El Salvador did pass this last year, which like good for them. But like most of the things that we're actually like definably number one in, aside from economic growth on the business sector, is like bad shit. It's like poverty levels and shit. But you can look this up. We're not doing great on the ground level people at the bottom of the tree aspect of life. And there's hundreds of millions of those people, which is why it bothers me that people don't address them that much. That's all I'm saying.
Weren't you just talking about kids in Africa mining cobalt, and you're saying that poor people in America are hurting?
Yes, I think that both African children mining cobalt and American people living on the street are living bad lives.
Decadent.
It's not a zero
Bro,
sum game. They're both allowed to have shitty
well, you
lives created by a bad system. That's all I'm saying.
right. You could be in charge of the space program and still think you have a shitty life.
Yeah, but they're insane, like retarded. I'm talking about people that are homeless and don't eat. It's not a comparative thing. We don't have to make a comparison out of it. There's no need
I
to make
thought
a
you
comparison
just
out of
were.
it. No, I'm saying that, like, yeah, comparatively, the average, even shitty living in a fucking next to a bando in Southwest Detroit, like my dad grew up in, like I was around a good amount of my life. Yeah, they're probably living better than a lot of fucking African cobalt miners. Doesn't mean that when my grandma would cry about bills, it doesn't mean that she's not, like, valid in it. What are you talking about?
Right. Like you just said, we could be the head of the space program and still have complaints. You're saying basically your argument is that because everything's not perfect, it sucks.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's anyone's argument when they want to change anything. What do you mean?
No. I think that if you make a list of 1 to 10 of the great things we have in our society, and you look at other civilizations, you will see how much we're winning. And I
All right,
think
then
you,
let's scrap everything else. First world countries.
if you let me talk, dog, man, why you keep doing that? Let me talk. I'm
yeah, just let him
sorry.
finish.
I'm really
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Just let me talk, man. If you look at if you look at all the aspects of our capitalism, and then you compare it to other people's, which a lot of people have socialism, a lot of people have communism. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody has capitalism across the board. No, they don't. We are like we kind of like headstone that. We tread set in that. But if you list the 10 things and then you look at the 10 things, I seriously doubt you will be like, let's give up this and that so we can have a free ambulance. Let's give up this and that so we can do this. I
My
don't
bad, I cut
necessarily
out.
think
My
that.
Wi-Fi died.
It's
I
fine.
missed the last.
It's fine. Continue, big bars.
I just don't think that if you list the things and you look at all the achievements that we have that are great for all of us, I don't think you would give up any of those things for anything you're talking about, actually. I don't think so. And I actually kind of think that it's kind of narcissism. It's narcissism to think that your way, you can pull a way out of your mind that's better than thousands of years of innovation. I think it's kind of narcissistic. That's just me.
When you say narcissistic, what do you mean? Because that's like an actual insult. What are you talking about, narcissistic?
I'm saying that it is mentally ill to think that you have
So,
a way of moving that is better than thousands of years of innovation. I think that's
I
kind
don't
of
think that's
crazy.
just me. What are you talking about? It's not just me. There's fucking. Have you
The
read
way you talk,
anything from the left ever?
no, the way you talk. I've been very quiet on you.
Yeah.
I've been very quiet on you. When you're not around, we have no problem. Everybody speaking, but when you're
Because everyone
around,
agrees
you
with
want
you.
to know. You want to cut everybody off. You cut everybody off, and it's really rude. It's really rude. So if you can't take me saying that I feel like it's mentally ill for somebody to think that they know better than thousands of years of trial and error, I don't know what to tell you, dog. I really don't.
I feel it.
And
I get it.
I think it's a little crazy. Just even in this respect, everybody want here is like, I'm 43. Everybody's want here, but you was over. It's like 40, over 40, and
Sure.
I think it's a little. You have this. I know what I'm talking about you, which I never would have came in any room, any chat room, anything, and disrespected the elders like you do. I feel personally.
Yeah, I do know what I'm talking about, though, is the issue. This is my life. It's
No,
my
but you
job.
don't though. But you don't though, dog. I will
From
smoke
my
you.
perspective,
I will
yes, I am
smoke you. I'm a
confident.
historian.
I
I'm
am
a
incredibly
historian.
confident that I do know
Oh,
what I'm
okay.
talking about. And the things that I
Okay. Well,
speak
you will
on?
lose. Well, you will lose. You will
On
lose.
what?
You're
Who would I lose
you're
to?
arguing you're arguing that you're basically supremely confident that you could design a better economic system than the
No, I'm
United
not.
States.
No, I'm not saying that at
Well,
all.
you
I'm saying that there's things within our system that we can change, and we refuse to change it. That annoys me. That's my position. I'm not a fucking economic
right.
genius. I couldn't rewrite the Constitution. Fuck that. I'm not saying that I could. I'm saying that we have politicians and people that you guys shit on that try to do these things, and you say that they can't do it either. They don't even get a chance. I'd say
Who
give
do
them
you
a
think
chance.
is? Who do you think is politicians that are doing it?
We shit on Bernie saying I'm not even getting okay. Fuck that. That's gonna kill you. That's
Well,
gonna
first
turn
of all,
this
right,
in a very
let's say
different
this,
way.
right? Bernie Sanders, he wasn't even your party didn't even want him to become
I
president.
know, and it
So
will.
really,
I think it'll be
that
one
has
of the
nothing to do
gravest
with
sins that
the.
the Democrats ever committed in their fucking lives to
So
try to
yeah,
fucking prop up
so
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris again. What the fuck was that?
yeah. I mean,
I
I've
don't
told
like the
you, I've said
Democratic
this
Party for
plenty
the
of times
record.
where when Bernie Sanders was running, I would have voted for him.
I know, me too. They
So
fucked him. They fucked the boy up.
you know,
Okay, but like, so you understand where he was coming from? That sometimes, yeah, like radical change isn't always a bad thing. Everyone loses their fucking minds over Mom Donnie, and he's like, what? He's a democratic socialist. Okay. We have
but
admitted
this is my
democratic
thing with
fascists in the fucking in the Trump administration. That's okay. It sucks.
you know
I don't
this
like
is.
it, but it's allowed.
But see, this is my thing with at least the right, the Democratic Party, where you guys say a lot of changes, but when it comes to your party, there's absolutely no changes. Now, whether you like Trump or not, he is actually doing things, whether you like the things he do or not. So I mean, again, I'm not saying I'm a Trump thumper because I'm not. I mean, I didn't really vote for the guy. But my thing is that at the end of the day, you know, you say, and I've seen this a lot with the Democrats. They say a lot, but they do very little.
Yeah, I
Buster,
agree.
wait, Buster, what are you going to say?
I was gonna say, I mean, I think we're getting into the weeds on that when we're picking political parties first
No,
off. But
yeah.
anyways, one of the points that he was making was he said that the system we have in America was made by powerful men for powerful men, right? If you let's say you were trying to do that, would mobility be possible in that system? I mean, look at any other system where that's actually exactly what they're trying to do. Like, let's call it North Korea, for example. There's no upward mobility there. And was that not created by a powerful man for powerful men? If anything, it's almost as if it was created by men who had to flee their country so they had access to believe what they wanted without persecution and build something from the ground up. It's almost like America was designed that way, wouldn't you say?
I know you're trying to say it in like some like gotcha condescending way. You really don't have to talk to me like that. I think we agree on a lot more things than you guys think we do.
I don't think that's a gotcha. I
Yes.
think it directly addresses your point, doesn't it?
Okay, my point is that America. Yeah, maybe I could have phrased that better. Yes.
So don't say I was doing a gotcha. I'm super fair
America.
in this kind
Okay,
of
then
scenario.
I'll respond to it. America was founded by the 1% of Americans. We can admit
There was
that.
none.
That's okay to admit. What? Look at
So
the
okay, say
net
there was
worth of the
100
people that
people.
wrote the Constitution compared to the majority of people living in the colonies. It's a fucking crazy discrepancy. That's okay. I'm not saying that I have anything against the founding fathers because of it. We needed people to do that. I fucking love America. I love this country. I'd die for this country. Fuck yeah. I'm a fucking patriot, boys. I'm just a patriot on the other end of on the other end of the aisle. All I'm saying is that yeah, when the boys were writing the Articles of Confederation, I had to do a whole fucking like project about this. They fucked up a lot. They did not give enough power to the people. That's why Shays' Rebellion happened. That's why they ended up coming back and going, all right, we need some amendments. All those amendments we like to reference, they're called amendments because they had to change them. The system that they put in place originally was not perfect. In fact, it wasn't even great. And that was the system that they thought was going to be the great one, and then they fucked up. That's okay. But yeah, George, I
So
do
it
not
didn't
think that
become the great one.
was that.
It didn't become the great one.
I think that the Constitution is the greatest piece of political legislation ever created. The Articles of Confederation, not so much. And the Articles of Confederation had a lot of the similar points as the Constitution. They just influenced it in a bad way. That's why they gave the Constitution the ability to be amended as many times as they fucking need. And that's why we have terms. That's why we have elections. That's why that we ended up doing the presidency in the way we did because of these reasons, right? They changed it within, what, 9 years. So I find it odd that we are so afraid to add, I guess, quote unquote, radical change almost 250 years later. Even they recognize that it's a fuck
I don't
up
see how
sometimes.
that. I don't see how that makes your point. I don't even see how it references your point.
Okay, then my bad.
You
I did
said
go
it
on a little
wasn't
bit of ramble.
right. You said that it wasn't. It was created by the most powerful men. When that's not even the case. It was created by. That would be like saying that a book I wrote was created by the top 1% of authors of my book. Versus saying it was written by the top 1% of authors of all time.
Do you not think that, like, the people that wrote the Constitution do you think that the people that wrote the Constitution were, like, common men? Do you think that, like, the
Compared to
George
the
Washingtons
Queen
and the
of
Sam
England?
Adams? Yeah, compared to a fucking, like, Protestant monarchy, sure. But, like, everyone compared to any godly monarchy back then was already at the bottom of the totem pole. That's not really a point.
Okay, so using your logic, then the better response would have been to taking the dumbest, least productive people we have and starting a country from them.
No. You're straw
Oh,
manning a little bit. And I get what I think I get where you're trying to get at, but you can also just address what I actually said. So,
I think I
my
did
thing.
twice.
I did not, but I didn't say anything about making the most unproductive men the focus of it. I didn't say that. You said
So,
that.
so who do
You
we
just
pick
used it as a
then? If not
point.
the smartest and if not the
Okay.
brightest and not the dimmest,
I'll
then who?
say this. The concept of America being for the people, by the people, is a beautiful concept. We have had to fight for that concept in perpetuity. We still are. There's nothing wrong with that. That's why I fucking love it. But yes, to say that the original Constitution was this like perfect thing for all people and all people were equal and had equal opportunities is a fairy tale. I mean, like any historian will agree with that.
Anybody arguing perfect so far has been you. You're the only one that's had a problem with perfect or imperfect.
So do you think that the Constitution was fair? The original one, the first one. Even with the amendments, I'll even grant you the amendments. Do you think that the original way that we did business with the people, the common man, was fair to them?
Compared to what?
Compared to your idea of fairness now. Because yes, compared to back then, it was fucking awesome. Fair enough. But compared to the concept of fairness that you're basing off of now.
I would say compared to, I don't know, North Korea, it's pretty fair. Compared to England, it's pretty fair. You have more freedom than anybody ever, so it's pretty fair.
But we still can admit that it had some flaws. That's all I'm saying.
Nobody's saying that there's no flaws in anything except for your like ideological optimal utopia idea that you're upset that it's not. First off, I will say this disregarding the conversation real quick. If you're upset that things aren't perfect, you're cooked, bro.
What?
How are you going to ever be happy one time if you're upset anytime that there's not perfection? You'll never reach perfection. You'll never see perfection. The only person who can bring you perfection would be a theological God. That's the only person.
So I just lay down and died. That's your idea of
No. Let me see. Here's the thing where we gotta look at society, right? There's a thing where I am opposed to, we gotta stop thinking or wanting utopia, because honestly, I don't think it's rational. Because
I don't want utopia. I want
but
free ambulances.
it's a utopia,
man.
because you gotta think, right? Like I said, even if other places, and again, we could improve, right? I think we are always looking for ways to improve. But at the end of the day, I mean, I think this is the problem with our current generation. And I'll say this, guys. I mean, he's 21, right? Please excuse me. I mean, like, when we were all 21, we think we were invincible and we knew everything, right? So, I mean,
don't think that.
I'm not saying that. I'm not necessarily saying that, but I mean, like, I just want everyone to not, hate each other or anything. But what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, this is why I believe in more accountability, because at the end of the day, I think we do change over time, but to expect that, let's say the thing where your thought about the ambulance thing, it would be nice, right? But at the end of the day, we see other countries that have that, and then they have other problems. So I think we have a mentality of people that always find problems with our society, right? There's always problems. Like, oh, we need this to change, we need that to change, and at the end of the time, you will never be satisfied with the life you have. And I think that's a key that we're all talking about. Where at the end of the day, you want the millionaires, the billionaires to think about you. But then again, I think we're creating a weaker society when we constantly, one, need handouts, constantly need things to be free, constantly things need to be, a kind of, push towards, a utopian thing. Because again, I'm not claiming to be smarter than anyone, right? So at the end of the day, we hope that we voted people that would do better for us. So if we didn't, then, we got re-voted. But at the end of the day, we can't. I think we are falling into a society where, and like the whole analogy when I talk about the Starbucks thing, we have Starbucks employees that are making money more than other people. They're making $20 an hour. They have stock options. They have medical benefits that are better than other people, and they're still striking. They're on strike because they want more money.
It seems to be more of a union dispute.
But I'm just saying in general, that's the mindset where we're pushing, where nothing is ever enough, right? That's the problem. Yeah, and then when we have that mindset, we're constantly nitpicking at every little thing.
Yeah, which I think is what makes us a fucking American. I think if you're not willing to fight for the shit that you want, I think that's the most American shit you can do.
But I also think that it's making us weak.
I don't love the Constitution because it's perfect. I love the Constitution because we can make it better. God damn it. That's why I wake up every morning. That's why I fucking do this shit, dude. That's why I want this to be my job. I'm just saying. Like, I don't know. I don't hate this country. I fucking love this country. I just think that it can be better. So I'm going to talk about ways I think it could be better. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Well, I think the thing is that there's a difference. That would be like me complaining about the plays that Tom Brady called or something. Like, you can do that. But is it really a reasonable conversation to have?
Did Tom Brady cost you? Okay, let's do some math. 18,000 every 6 weeks for a year. I'm not even going to do that math. Do you want to think about how much that might cost? $18,000 every 6 weeks for a full year.
Absorb tax dollars?
Do you end up paying the tax? What the fuck are you Wait, no. I'm saying that you're in your analogy. Yeah,
yes.
I can bitch about Jared Goff's game against the Eagles. That sucked. That was a rough fucking night. But it's completely inconsequential. The amount of money that I pay to stay alive is consequential. So yeah, I think it's a little bit more pertinent than complaining about Tom Brady play calls.
Well, I think it's equivalent in the sense that unless you're dropping better plays, it might be like a moot point, right? Especially when you're challenging Tom Brady's authority in quarterbacking.
Yeah, if Tom Brady shot my dog, I would challenge his ability as a quarterback. It doesn't, I mean, like, yeah.
He'd still be the best quarterback ever.
If he shot your dog, you would just disregard that because he won a few rings?
I mean,
That's a weird mentality to have, man. We can admit that, right?
Oh, would he have to give up his Super Bowl rings or lose his stats or like it never happened? What I'm saying is that
Yes, I think that if Tom Brady shot my dog and stole $5,000 from me, yeah, I think the least I would expect is for him to give me a little consolation prize. Yeah,
good
that's
luck.
not a handout. That's fair. That's just how I think that shit should work. That's not crazy. That's not crazy. That's not
Right,
that crazy.
but Tom Brady didn't shoot your dog.
Okay, yeah, but the American medical system shoots my dog every 6 weeks and says "fuck you" when the insurance doesn't go through, and then I have to be on the phone and I have to call everybody, and I have to spend 3 fucking hours every like 12-ish weeks just to not die. I mean, that sucks. That sucks. I'm allowed to complain about that. That is not the same thing as me complaining about Tom Brady on Sunday Night Football, dude. Come on now.
Alan,
It's a complaint.
No, Alan, did you support what Trump did with his acts towards the medical field, right?
Yeah, of course I support the idea of them.
Yeah, what he did, you were a supporter of that?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, like, I fucking hate Trump, but yeah, if he's going to do something that actively benefits me and a good amount of the American people, of course I'm going to like it.
Okay.
That's why I'm an American. I'm not a Democrat.
Okay, then let me say this. Do you, I mean, like, let's see how, ingrained you are. So did you believe that, I mean, so at least, like, let's say that one thing, regardless of all the things that you didn't like, let's say, like about Trump, his one thing about focusing on the medical, trying to, make it better, right? And was something that's drastically different than what Biden did, because Biden, I don't know what he did for American people during his term.
He still perpetuated the thing that the Democrats have been doing since the Affordable Care Act got passed.
But even the Affordable Care Act didn't help with, people like that.
Yeah, because I didn't need that much help. And I'm willing to accept that I am still much more fortunate than the people that the ACA did help. So I'm not that upset that Biden chose to focus on those people instead of me during his term. That's my position on the matter. I'm not that bent out of shape over it. Am I annoyed? Sure, but yeah. I think that people living on the street getting put in debt because they almost died of hypothermia because of a fucking ambulance cost and ER cost after they found out that the insurance didn't go through. I think that they should be focused on a little bit more than me living in a middle-class household at college. Still not a complaint about my, plights, though. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
I mean, dude, I think about these things. I promise you guys I'm not just some, crazy kid that has all these radical ideas. I mean, this is my passion. This is, all I do, as a matter of fact. I'm a politics and history nerd. I'm a fucking geek.
Buster has his hand up.
All right, Buster, what you thought?
Yeah, what's up, Buster?
Oh, hey, first off, Alan, bro, keep that fire in your belly till the day you leave this earth, right?
Yes,
I would
sir.
say that.
Yes, sir.
And you're doing you speak really well for somebody your age, and that's not condescending. I'm impressed, right?
I appreciate it.
I guess, first off, us just venting about what upsets us. I mean, we're all cool about it, but even the people in this small chat room don't care, right? So that's the first thing, right? Nobody cares. And you talk about how rough it is in a comparative sense. Even people that get Medicaid, right? If they can afford better health care, they still choose it. People that are 65-year-olds who have access to Medicaid, if they can afford it, still do something else. That's what I did for years. They will, because they would rather, there is no expense. That's the same argument I just made with the Uber versus an ambulance. You could walk to the hospital, right? So if you were to say,
I can't walk to the hospital with my affliction. I have Crohn's disease. It completely immobilizes me. So no, I couldn't just walk to the hospital when I'm feeling bad. The fuck
you could, right? In the good old days, they would have tossed you on the back of a wooden cart and hauled you off to the cemetery, whatever. Right? What I'm saying is that there's always levels to what's acceptable, and I think one of the problems in the way that you're thinking about it is that you're saying, "Oh, it's powerful men that put this in place to keep people down." Yet you have more options than anybody ever has. Maybe you don't practically have options, right? Because I don't make $1 million billion or whatever. but you do have more options. You have so many options that the best technology in medicine of all time is available to you. People come here for it. So if money was no object, would you rather go to some Australian version of Medicaid, or would you rather be in America? You would rather be in America, for
For
sure.
my
That's
specific
one of the
situation, I actually would rather, if I could choose, yeah, I'd get Australian healthcare and then American economy, which is
no,
obtainable.
no, no.
We just choose it
I'm
not to
saying
be.
for your specific
I
medical
think for most
ailments,
people,
you
I
could
think that they
go
would
and
pick that. Honestly, I
no,
think
no,
that if
no.
people were
You're
actually
talking
presented
about
with the
groups.
numbers, I mean, like, how much
We're
do you
not
think
talking
an
about
ambulance
groups. We're talking about
costs?
you,
Okay, me then. Let's talk about me. Yes, I would
right? I'm
100%
saying
choose paying a 2% hike in taxes so I don't have to pay all this money. Yes, I would be very okay with that.
not depending on your income, you would.
It's basically 2% across the board for most industrialized
Great.
countries.
Great. So would you, if you were making $100 billion, would you rather pay 2% for Australian healthcare or pick anybody in the United States? You wanted.
Or pay for what was that?
Would
I missed
you
the last
rather
part.
pay out of pocket the
hmm
best American doctor for your ailment, or would you rather
hmm
pay 2% on $100 billion for government universal health care in Australia? The obvious choice is the best surgeon you can find, or whatever. It's
Yes, the
obvious,
obvious choice would
especially
be that, but there's no equivalent. There's no statistic saying that America does have the best doctors in the world. We have some of the best research universities, which fucking rules. God bless America. Love that shit. Which does draw in a lot of foreign doctors, scientists, people, etc., to our country that usually end up practicing here. We have no statistic that says that American-born doctors and American-raised doctors are better than any other industrialized country. Same with
it
our
wouldn't
instruments.
matter
We use
where
the
they're
same
it
healthcare
wouldn't matter
system.
where they're born and raised. What would matter is how would you
I'm just saying,
measure
like,
the
domestic
efficacy of a
doctors.
doctor?
We're not any better. That's all I'm saying. Where there's literally
Yet
no
they can
metric
charge
where we are
more.
better. Yeah,
Then
that's what
why
I'm
would you pick
saying.
an
We are
American
not any
doctor?
better, but we charge more. I have a problem with that. That's my entire point. You get it. You see what I'm saying?
It, uh, if you what you were saying is true, then Elon Musk would go to Australia to get universal health care instead of whatever doctor he has. What you're saying is insane, bro.
Do you want to guess what South Africa's system is? It's not ours. I'll tell you that. And he doesn't live here. He lives
And he
there.
would
It's bizarre.
prefer it. So that's who he's hiring then. So
No,
when
I
he
think that
got a
he
tummy ache,
has
he
the
flies to
money. I
South
think he
Africa.
has. No, that's a dumb hypothetical. I understand. Okay, I see where you're trying to go with
We're
this. If I
arguing
had,
choice.
yes, I am.
And you're saying you would choose the one that for Elon Musk would be more expensive and less effective. No, you wouldn't.
But there's no metric saying that it's less effective. That's like a myth that we've created.
They
Like
can't
honestly,
charge as much.
they can't. What is it? What? They can't charge
They
as much.
can't charge as much. Yeah.
What does that mean?
If they would, they wouldn't work somewhere with universal health care.
They can't charge as much. What does that mean?
That, how do you
Who's
determine who's
they?
the best in their field?
Right. Which is why a lot of these foreign doctors, once again, like I said, come over here for research opportunities because they get put on payroll. They get put on a
And
good payroll. So
and
they're
you
coming here
said
to
that
make
I
money,
made
not
your
to save
point.
lives. But they're not coming here to save lives. They're coming here to make money. I think that that inherently is a flaw in our healthcare system, where we have doctors coming here not because they have the best, not because we have the best instruments or the best research. They're coming here because they're going to get paid more because they
Wait,
know
okay,
that the
wait,
other
guys,
systems
wait,
give
wait,
more
wait.
power
Here,
to the
Alan,
people.
Alan. Wait, here's the
Yeah.
thing where personal experience. I mean, it's anecdotal, and it can be like. Here's the thing where I think everywhere, even in Australia, whatever, because like I've been into the UK, it's still about money. So even if, let's say, correct, a certain, like giving you a medication or something, like very generic, appointments, okay. But if you want bigger, let's say, important surgeries, operations, whatnot, it will still cost you a lot more there than it does here because, it's because
On what metric?
Huh?
On what metric would it cost more? Like what like specific evidence for that it would cost more? Because I've heard the opposite. I'm kind of curious where you got that from. Maybe I'm wrong. Shit, I hope
Oh,
I'm
because
wrong.
I mean, what metric is? Buster, go ahead.
In Texas, for instance, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but the outlook on Texas as far as being anti-socialist or a red state or whatever, there's no children in Texas that aren't covered for no cost, and there's not a state income tax here. So it's not like kids are going uncovered. And I would still rather take my kid if I was homeless in Texas. I would still rather take him to one of our doctors than go to Africa or some shit like that, or the
Right, because
Middle
we're not
East and
talking
have a
about
doctor.
Africa. But we're not talking
It
about
doesn't
Africa. We're
matter where
talking
we're
about
talking about.
other anglicized, modernized countries.
Yeah,
Which
sure. I
the
would
UN
still
counts as
rather
about
take my kid.
38 of them. We are one of
I would
3 that does not offer these services, for the record. It's
I
us,
would
South Korea,
still prefer a Texan
and
doctor to
Mexico.
an Australian one. I
But
would
like,
still
why?
prefer it because
But like,
it's
on what metric?
easier. I believe in it. It doesn't cost me anything.
It's easier. You believe in it. It doesn't cost anything. Okay, I don't believe in
It's
it.
easier
It's
because
not
I'm
easier for
here.
me, and it does cost me a lot. So that's why I
Then
disagree with you. I'm
uh,
glad that you're doing fine, but
great.
I'm not. So I'm
No,
disagree
no,
with you.
no. Great. When's the last time you went to Australia for medical care?
What? Is that a serious
You
question?
said it was easier. You said it was easier. When's the last time you did it?
No, it's not easier for me to take a flight to Australia and schedule a surgery. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if I was a national
I
born
agree.
Australian, I would not be paying that much money that I am being a national born American. You're strawmanning my argument in a really weird way. I think that we already had a baseline of what I'm talking about. I don't know why you're changing it.
You
I'm not
asked
saying
me
that I
how it
want
was
to fly
easier.
to Australia. I'm saying that yeah, if I lived in Sydney and I only had to pay 2% tax to be able to get a free ambulance to the hospital that will only charge me half of the money that a doctor in the Metro Detroit area would charge me. I would rather have been born in Sydney. That's my argument.
Right.
For that
And
specifically,
if you'd rather have the rights of the Constitution, you'd rather be born in the United States.
which is the paradox. That's what we're talking about. That's why I'm saying that I think that the
It's not a
Constitution rules, but
paradox.
I'm
It's
also
just a
saying that I think
choice.
that where are you from? You said you're from Texas?
Yeah.
Before you got born, did you like choose your spawn point on a mini map?
No, I was blessed by God, brother.
Right, to grow up in the Lone
100%.
Star State. Yeah, and good for you. I'm
Greatest
happy.
place of
I would
all
move to
time
Texas.
ever.
I honestly would move to Texas. I want to move down to the southwest area when I'm eventually. That's kind of where I want to end up for the record. So
Hey,
yeah, I
bro.
fuck with it. I vibe with it.
Nah, hey, keep your ideas wherever the fuck you're bringing them from. We don't want that. I'm just messing with
And
you. I'm just messing with you.
okay, fair enough. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, like, I'm really happy for you, but I mean, like, I
All
live
right.
in Michigan. We're doing pretty decent, but we're not doing great. We can do better. That's my argument.
All
Dia, go
right.
ahead.
Artie, any opinions tonight?
I actually just got in here literally like 40 seconds ago. I was talking to
Okay.
my mom for quite a minute. So I don't even know what the conversation was. I literally started once I got into this. The guy was talking about the 2% tax in Australia. So I'm not even sure
That's
what the
fine.
damn conversation was about.
We're
So
kind of we're talking about like the concept of Americans having a lot of amenities that the majority of the world doesn't have, which is great, but also we have some systems in place that do not grant us the same amenities as other industrialized nations, such as healthcare. So yeah, we're doing pretty good in some areas, but there are some areas to be improved, and these guys don't really seem to want to improve them or feel that they should be improved, which is what my argument's against. That's
okay,
basically it.
all right. Well, if it's just in terms of that, sure, I guess you're correct. Like there are things that we're privy to here. There are more opportunities here versus opportunities elsewhere. Like one freedom that we have here that most people in this country can take advantage of is after somebody gives birth, whether they give birth in a back alleyway or in a hospital, the nutrition for the what do you call it, the newborn. So let's say a woman doesn't produce milk, right? We have tons of ways of free food or free nutrition
Evil Eddie. I'm gonna put you off. Right.
for
I'm gonna give AJ.
oh, my fault. I was just saying we have that for kids here versus other countries or like underdeveloped nations where that may not even be a thing. Where I know like in some African nations and deep in those underdeveloped areas in African nations, if a woman doesn't produce, then the kid dies, because there is no second option of any type of food. So I follow you on that, but I
Well,
think the
they
thing,
brought that up too. I'm talking specifically about like let's say Western. I'm not even gonna say Anglicized, even though I guess that's probably what we're talking about. Just like Western industrialized nations. Like I'm not talking about third world countries. I'm talking specifically about like our quote unquote competitors. Even though we surpass them in the economy, like we
so
are competing with
you're
them on a
talking
social
like
sense.
United States versus Greece.
United States versus Australia has been the example that I've been going to because we're very similar to them in ways that I think we don't like to admit. They're another former British colony that got, away from the crown. They developed their own constitution that gave a lot more freedoms to their citizens. They ended up actually making pretty good friends with the UK and other trade partners. I think we're pretty similar to Australia in a lot of ways. The only things that we're not really similar to Australia in are healthcare, social security, that et cetera, et cetera. That's why I'm comparing them to us directly.
Alan, I do want to say that I think it's more consistent where I think all of us are not saying that, we should there's no room for improvement. I think we are kind of saying that at some time it's a slippery slope where we're constantly nitpicking. We're constantly thinking that there's always something wrong with our society. Because like I said, I've been to the UK, which has a similar system to, Australia, and there's always flaws in it, right? There's always flaws in all systems. So
I don't think it's perfect.
But to think that, we need to change this, but you don't understand. Sometimes we may not understand what flaws may come with it. But again, I do agree that we do, having changes are good. But I mean, we hope that, we have elected certain people that would focus on, making things better. I mean, if not, then we definitely need to change.
Do you know what the shutdown was like about? Like the reason why it ended up getting extended for so long? It was about this.
No, they're trying to give healthcare to illegals.
So that's the myth. Who said that?
I did.
AJ.
Oh, it's AJ. What's up, AJ? No, they weren't trying to give healthcare to illegals. They were trying. Okay, so the way that we have a system, and I looked into this extensively because I actually did believe that for like a while, and I'm not going to be the best person to explain it at all. But I mean, like, it's out there. Trust me. The way that we do healthcare, quote unquote, for illegals boils down to necessity of care. We're not doing appendectomies scheduled 3 months in advance for illegals. We're helping them if they're like dying on the street most of the time.
Yes.
Which I don't necessarily disagree with, being that it only costs the American.
And then the taxpayer.
Yeah, but it barely costs us anything.
It costs us tons of money. You look at California.
How much money?
When ICE came, right? And there's nurses saying, well, the ERs are empty because illegals won't come out. Which means that if the ERs are full in areas where they're
where'd you hear that
Hispanic, from? It was just an interview.
California, what should I look up for that? California nurses say emergency rooms are empty?
Yeah, there's like news stories, but it shouldn't cost us anything though. This is the thing. People who don't belong here shouldn't be costing us anything. What does it matter if it's like 50 cents? Dude, here's the thing. Have you noticed that Phoenix bars, Artie, DA, myself, where we are minorities and you as a white guy are whining more about America than we are? Isn't it funny how that works?
I don't think it's so funny. I don't think it's that funny at all.
Yeah, it is, because it's a joke. Like we are so used to looking up at utopia that we need to look to the side and realize how good we have it. When DA and all the rest of us talk about how good we have it here in the United States, because we're always striving to be better. We have it better than Norway, who in some ways has it better than us. But nowhere is perfect, right? Progressives like you tend to forget the progress we've made. My mom grew up in the Jim Crow South.
I don't forget that. You brought this up last time we talked. I do not forget that.
But here's the thing. So like, what?
Alan, please just let people finish.
So like, what's the issue? So we don't have health care for everyone. Like we have Obamacare. Maybe we'll have it in 20 years. Things shift, things move, right? But just look, the strides that we've made in the last 60 years are more than most other places have. In these other Western areas like Norway, where Norwegians are like 98% of the population, are they the most diverse? No. So me as a Black American, there's nowhere else I'd want to live. I'm not going to move to anywhere where there's no diversity.
Me neither.
They don't have the constitutional republic we have where we could actually vote for our president and not vote for some prime minister and some party. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the greatest
Oh,
country on earth, and it's trying to get better, which makes it even better.
Can
right.
I
So
ask a
why are you
question
shitting on
real
me
quick?
for suggesting how I think it could be better?
Because
Are
the
you
things
saying that
they're
I shouldn't be
talking
able to do
about
that?
are so trivial, though.
Hey,
Me
let me ask
losing
a question
hundreds
because
of thousands of dollars a year is fucking trivial? What are you talking about?
Wait, say again?
I die if I don't get a specific medication. I've
Yes.
had this since I was a child. That annoys me. And I
So
think that we could do better. I do not think that's a trivial issue, Jay. And yes, I'm not as oppressed as your parents were. I'm sorry to hear that. That doesn't mean that I shouldn't also be able to complain about this issue.
so get a job that gives you health care.
what is can I ask what is the chief complaint of the argument? Because like I said, I came in late and y'all were talking about. So are we
I don't
talking
really
about this?
understand it either. I said that ambulance just should be free. And they said, where is that? Where are they free? I said Australia, and then it just kind of went from there. I still
They're
hold
not
that
free in
position.
Australia.
Nothing's free, bro.
Nothing's
They're
Nothing's free.
free.
okay. They're not free as in completely, yeah, but the way that they pay for their medical taxes as a aggregate is a lot different than we have. And I am not a big fan of paying $2,500 for a 6-minute trip to the hospital.
Okay, well
That's why
let
you
me
get
explain
health
it to you this
insurance.
way. That's in healthcare. Well, since you want to mention it in healthcare, that's fine. They may have free
That's my
ambulances
argument.
going. They may have free ambulances going to wherever people need medical assistance at. But is their average cost for insurance for the average person higher, or those insurance premiums higher?
Do you
Well,
want me to
then
look it
that's
up?
the
I'll
cost
look it
right
up.
there.
Yeah.
It's no different than here in the States where a state will have no sales tax, fine, but then that property tax in that state
Yeah, it has to make
on
up for it.
average is way fucking higher. You also have some states don't have sales tax, great, but they do have county and
Yeah.
sales. They more have a lot of county taxes too.
And look at
So
the wait times for doctors in Canada. There are
yeah, I mean,
certain
yeah, that's
provinces where you
that's a
got to
prime
wait two
example. So
years. Look that up. 2 years to see a doctor, and they have socialized medicine. So
if you
that's
don't
not
get it one
perfect.
way, it will come to you another way, especially when it comes in cost. So you may not see the cost up front, but then you see the cost downstream. It's
So
not really.
I'm looking into
Wait,
it.
guys, let
There doesn't seem
Buster.
to be a
Wait,
metric that says that we pay less
Alan,
overall.
wait a little bit.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
so
Buster,
I was
what
just
what
saying
do
this,
you
and
wanted
then
to
I'm
say?
gonna free up the floor. I was
Oh
just
well,
saying that nothing is essentially free. So even if a country
Yeah, of
does
course
have
not.
free ambulance care or any one free value, one free thing that you see up front, I'll use this story. I'll use this as an example real quick.
What
I've
story?
said it before. It's values and metrics, right? So if it's my birthday and AJ gives me a gift card for Starbucks and I don't drink coffee, it's a $25 gift card, and I say, hey, DA, I know you love coffee. Here, give me $15 and I'll give you this $25 gift card. And he says, bet. We make that trade. Now DA wins because he turned his 15 into 25, but I win too because I turned zero into $15. It's not a even trade per se, but it's both people won in that exchange. So in that one way, you see how DA sees his 15 turn into 25 and he values that. I see zero turning into 15 and I value that. So there's more than one way to look at anyone's situation. So if you see free ambulances in or free certain services or free surgery services or anything like that from a medical provider or a country doing it this way, trust and believe they're digging their heels in somebody's ass on the back end. Now, where that back end is medically, you may not know. And because countries do, I'll say this the last thing, because countries are so interconnected with or like their financial system is so tangled together with like these web of strings and lies and stuff like that. That's where you may think like the ambulance is free, and you may dig into the medical and say, oh well, most of the medical, I'm not really seeing the money being pulled back from the medical. Well, are you seeing the money being pulled back in county tax or whatever their equivalent of counties would be? Are you seeing it in sales tax? Are you seeing it in imports or exports? Are you seeing it that way? That's what I just wanted to mention. And I'm not saying that is 100% fact, but that's 9 times out of 10 most
Not a word,
ways in
brother.
life. That's how you get got when you
That's
have
the
to deal
argument.
with anything financially.
And that's the
All right,
one,
all
and
right.
that's why we still. No, I wanted to just say thank you, Artie, and yeah, I actually do 100% agree with you on that. There is no utopia. I'm just speaking my mind. I think that if we tried a little harder to be more like them, not obviously exactly like them, because yeah, they are getting fucked on the back end. That's why I want to live here. I'll still take
But
this
they got
over it, I
more liberal
suppose.
stuff going on with them anyway. I mean, and I forgot what
Wait,
happened. I think
Artie,
last
All
year or
right,
Artie,
I'll
something like
concede.
that.
I'll
Artie.
concede. I'm just saying, Artie, for like, thank you for articulating that way. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
All right.
Australia may be nice, and they keep saying "nar" instead of "no" or some shit like that. That may be cool, but I don't want to go live there. And they got, ain't it per capita? Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't it per country or something like that? Per
Artie,
square inch,
Artie.
they have the
All
most
right.
venomous
You
insects
could.
or animals.
Artie. All right, you're going on a tangent. All right, let's Buster. What would you want? What did you wanted to say?
Oh, I wanted to say, first off, AJ, hey, nice to have you here, man. I caught that Gavin McGinnis reference, so that's funny. Um, Alan, uh,
Hi, Buster. Hi, buddy.
this is not topical, but it does have something to
Yeah.
do with
Yeah.
this
All right.
scenario.
Uh-huh.
Uh, I would say that maybe try to control when you jump in and out a little better, just because it would help you. It really would help you. And
Well, we
then
all know that I'm kind of
maybe
the star attraction here. Everyone's trying to talk to me. I
right,
mean,
right,
I'm the only
right.
one that
But
disagrees with you guys. I'm just
well,
saying.
right, but you don't have to interrupt. Was my point.
Okay, fair enough. My bad. I do that a lot. You're right. I'm sorry.
Don't
It
throw your
would help
shoulder
you
out
if you
and pat
didn't,
yourself on the back.
right? And then another thing was like maybe have a little more grace. Like for instance, I used your logic and extrapolated it, and then you called it a straw man. And then as DA covered right after you responded to me, you said something that we never even implied or said, which is a straw man, right? So I
I
get it. It's
apologize,
cool.
man. I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry.
No, no, no. It's because I think you're a little more combatant than you need to be. Like I said, just more grace. Because if we wanted to play like just pick each other apart game, we wouldn't get anywhere, and we would just make fools of each other and ourselves, right? But what I will say is back to the taxation on healthcare in America, we have it set up so first off, you're paying taxes for it already, and you're granted it
Yeah.
already. If you pay taxes and you have no money and you're 65, your health care is free. If you're a child and you can't afford it, at least where I live, your
Yep.
health care is free.
Medicaid. Yep.
And not only that,
You
if
think
you
it's
get
wait,
benefits,
free
Yeah. Yep. You
Yeah,
get
it's
Medicaid.
taxed.
for over
yeah,
It's
65?
taxed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
They
about
they're
have
like?
called
I
Medicare
mean,
Advantage plans.
they have a Medicare. Yeah.
yeah. How
it's
old is?
not free, dude.
Yes, it
My
is.
I
grandfather's
know it's
diabetic. I get to see what he pays for insulin a month. It ain't free, dude.
that's
For
called
sure it
Medicare
helps,
Part
but it ain't
D, and
fucking
it depends
free.
on how
Yeah.
much he
Yeah,
makes
there's
because it's subsidized. But
Yeah.
can I
He's
finish?
retired now.
So
Yeah, no, sorry.
right, right, right. So depending on because it's not fully subsidized, it's just subsidized, meaning it's based on the tax dollars that come in from everybody that you pay federally, right? Depending on what you make outside of that determines your premiums. And not only that, even if you make good money, you can pay very little for Medicare when you're 65, extremely little, even if you have money, right? But like I was saying earlier, typically people that have money don't choose that plan because they would rather pay for better health insurance, which is also like, I would argue probably like 5 times cheaper than it should be because it's cheaper than for a 35-year-old male. And these are 65-year-olds and their premium plans are only like $300 a month for the best Medicare plan that you can get with the supplement. And you're 65, you're going to die tomorrow, and your health insurance is only $300. That's pretty reasonable,
Yeah,
right? And that's
yeah, man.
expensive. That's expensive in the game, right? There's people if you are on if you get benefits or your social security is in a certain amount, it's free. It's called an advantage plan. I've sold thousands of them. And when I say sold, it means that you appropriate the tax dollars that's in their Medicare allotment towards it. So there's nothing free. We're already playing the get taxed, get medical insurance game.
Hmm.
And I would argue, I think it's all screwed up, but I would argue it's like the best ever. Because where would you rather go? And I understand you're saying it's expensive, but you're in the premium game.
No, but it's like
If you weren't in,
ludicrously expensive. I mean, it's
Yeah,
comically expensive.
I think.
compared to what? No subsidized healthcare?
Yeah, well, the extreme
Yeah.
is France, guys. Look at France. I put the article in the private chat that France is so cooked because they have been doing retirement benefits, healthcare, all this other stuff based on income tax, on a huge income tax, whereas like Norway does it in different taxes, capital gains, all these other things. So France, after World War II, they basically made this really, really, really generous welfare state that was based on the post-war boom. So the majority of the population was working, like 90% and 95%. So everyone's fine. Then what happened? The oil crisis of the late 70s.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, unemployment goes through the roof, and guess what? There's less people working to support those who are retiring and those who have no jobs. Right? But what happens is that France makes it so that you can vote the prime minister out if you don't like them fairly easily. So any prime minister, the welfare state has never recovered. So they've had to actually incur debt to offset the cost of their welfare state. They're getting more and more into debt. And then one prime minister lowered the retirement age to 65. I mean, to 60 from 65. Now you have more people who aren't working. Right? So there have been 3 different prime ministers that have tried to change it so that they could tax different areas, make different taxes other than income tax, and they keep getting voted out. So now they're incurring more and more debt to support this huge welfare system. You know what I mean? That's free healthcare, all this other stuff. And France is getting destroyed. So I understand that that's an extreme, but that's kind of like on the other end of what a lot of people want is to have basically so much free stuff. And this is a direct example of where the pot that they're pulling the money from is one bucket. So you can see that it really isn't free and that the country can get cooked because someone has to fit the bill. And France is totally cooked. No one has the political power to actually do what Norway does or Denmark does and say, we want income tax, we want corporate tax, capital gains tax, blah, blah, blah. So now France is going to basically die if they don't do anything in the next 50 years.
Isn't this happening in Japan too?
Japan's population is dying off.
Same with South Korea.
As a country itself, France's population is dying off, dude. The entire West, plus Japan, China, and Korea, are dying off, are not at replacement rate.
Feminism.
So there's 2 different problems in France that they're not having babies, which is bad enough. So Korea, Japan, and China, it's bad enough that they're going to have way more old people than young because that's how Japan is going to be in the next 20 years. And they don't have enough people to actually work enough jobs to keep the old people supported, right? Well, France is not going to have enough people to generate enough income tax to keep the social systems going, the social welfare systems going in the next 20, 30 years. Oops. So...
And that's only unless something else pops up and they want to take tax dollars and start doing that same thing to that.
Yes, but any prime minister that's tried to make those changes gets voted out. Do you guys remember France had a prime minister for like 5 months recently, and he got voted out? That's the reason why. It's because the people and the parties are like, no, you are not going to raise taxes. You have to make it work. And France is borrowing more and more money because they can't pull out of any other pot. So France is kind of like on this freight train of social welfare straight down the toilet, you know? And what I'm saying, guys, is like, look, these issues like this, you know, socialized medicine, climate change, guys, I really don't care because it has nothing to do with if I have to get up and go to work tomorrow. Like, I only worry about things that I can control. And guys, the best thing, you guys know who doesn't worry about this stuff? And DA chime in here. You guys know who, out of all people, are like the least political? Asians. Why? Because Asians got money. Oh, all my Asian friends don't care because they just get money. They get money, they make investments, they get healthcare, and they move on down the line. Instead of what would Jesus do, what would the Asians do? All my Korean friends, Vietnamese friends, Japanese friends back in Washington State where I live, they don't care who the governor is or the president is, because they get money. They're not worried about climate change because they're putting all that effort that people are worried about climate change in Palestine into getting good grades, starting businesses, and all these things that'll actually make them be able to live good lives.
No, I mean you got. I think the Asian mindset is you just gotta make life work for you, however life is.
Yep.
All right. Buster, what do you want to say?
Hey, well, first off, AJ's dead right on the slippery slope of taxation, right? Imagine we just taxed more and more for healthcare for more and more people. Like we're looking at the Social Security system, which is it's tied into the same thing. That's how you get Medicare, actually. Eventually, it becomes unfeasible, right? It becomes let's tax them 100% of whatever they make so that we can give them medical coverage that they may or may not need. People are quick to say car insurance is a scam, but then at the same time, they're going to say, oh, well, we should tax ourselves to whatever there's no limit on taxation for healthcare, right? That's silly. Also, I don't know if you guys have seen the Sam Hyde on that one about Asian parents, but it's like, he says, teach me how to make American money. I need American money now. Right. And like, that's their mindset for immigration. And it makes a lot of sense. I mean, he's Sam Hyde, but I think the whole thing comes down to choice, right? If you want the choice, then you're going to pay a premium for it, no matter what. That's how it works in every economy ever. And not only that, imagine do you think, for instance, we spend too much on taxation for the military? Like we have the best military in the world, right? Do we spend too much money? Maybe we allot a lot of our tax dollars towards it. So imagine if we just allotted 1,000,000% taxes on healthcare or anything else. The price is going to shoot up. All it's going to do is crush the value of the dollar. That's all it's really going to do. All of a sudden, they're not going to start wasting money when they have infinite tax dollars.
Well, I think it's just interesting that in the United States, we have first world problems, and me as a black person, I look at why black immigrants, Jamaicans, Nigerians, tend to do so well, right? And that's because a lot of them, or even like white immigrants. Asian immigrants do better than like third, fourth generation Asians. Any westernized people don't have that hunger that we take these benefits we have here for granted, right? Like people come from a village in Nigeria and they look and see all this opportunity and they're like, what are you guys complaining about? And it's like maybe we just need to step back and be like, why is it that like my dad's friend who's a doctor, he's a Vietnamese guy. He moved here and went to college not knowing any English, got into college based on his math scores alone, learned English while he was an undergrad, right? Learned English. And then he was in the military. And then he went to medical school and became a surgeon. Like, that's the American dream. You can't do that anywhere else in the world. And instead of looking at people who can do that and saying, what are they doing? It's like, well, we're trying to look at the people at the bottom and be like, well, they're the ones to focus on. Well, no, let's focus on the ones who do well and emulate them, because there's a formula to it. There's choices. By the time that you're DA's age and my age and Buster's age and Phoenix Mars' age, if you grew up relatively middle class, you're exactly where you wanted to be in life. Period.
I agree.
Perfect.
We used to have this thing. They used to have this thing where they used to say, "Pull yourself up by your bootstraps."
Yeah.
I used to hate it, but now I totally understand it. And it's like, do work.
Yeah.
Do you work? Don't talk Don't complain.
Yep.
Work.
There's only two
What are you
things.
doing to see if
Nothing in life. Yeah.
this is my problem? If you, Alan, were talking about, oh, I have this problem with this, and this is what I'm doing to correct it, I'll have nothing to say to you. But you're just sitting there complaining about stuff that, if you look at infrastructure alone, other places, it doesn't even compare to America. We have the best infrastructure. We have the best everything. I'm sorry, dog. And see, that's what makes me think that you sit and say, well, I know what I'm talking about. Well, do you? Because America does have the best almost everything.
But
I
here's
mean,
Phoenix, here's the thing. If you don't like the state you're in, move to a different state. Doesn't Massachusetts have free healthcare for everyone there? Like Romney care? If you don't like the state you're in, if you're pro-choice, move to a pro-choice state. If you want less taxes, move to a lower taxation state. You know what I'm saying? Because I lived in DC. I hated it there. It was woke. All these knuckleheaded B-dubs acting stupid, so I moved down south. I have guns. I love it.
I do think AJ brought up a point where I think a lot of people don't put actual thought in. We are a very big country. We have a lot of people. So pretty much every state is pretty much their own country. And a lot of people don't really understand. It's very different. You move to one state is different than the other state around it. So that's what a lot of people don't really put into actual thought. And that's the thing where again, Alan is young. Some of us have moved around where we can see that these states are actually like their own little country. So that's where age and life experience we learn that wow, I moved to one state. My life is totally different. Like we experience that a lot, and we don't realize that. Yeah, we could compare ourselves to the UK, Australia, and such, but we also have such a huge population and such big diversity. So, Buster, what do you want to say?
I was gonna say, hey, first off, DA, bro, it's nice to interact with you, not through comments, and I'm glad that you're having me, bro. Thank you so much. Hey, we don't agree on like most stuff, but I love you, dog. Also, AJ and Phoenix, they're right. I lived for a long time. My family's from California. I served out there. I lived there for a long time. That's why I feel blessed to be from Texas. You do have a choice where you go. You could have nothing and still leave, bro. Wherever you are, you could have. That's what the Vietnamese doctor did, right? That's what I did. I'm sure the other guys here have done the same thing. Me, I think California is a goddamn wasteland. There's some cool stuff about it, but the bootstraps thing. It's not so much a prescription to fix yourself by pulling up your bootstraps as it is a description that you don't have any other choice. There's no other way around it. So it's not telling you should pull yourself up by your bootstraps. It's that's the only way. It's just natural that's the case, right?
I think the issue too, because I'm from the West Coast, so I'm from Seattle, and I would never move back to the West Coast. It's a hellhole. The entire West Coast can fall off in the ocean. Hey, DA, I put a TikTok link in the private chat. Can you pull that up? This is going to prove your point about how big the states are. Check this out. But yeah, guys, Portland, Oregon legalized all drugs and defunded the police. So now the criminals and the junkies are rewarded more than hard-paying taxpayers. 40% of all Portlandians plan on leaving Portland in the next 3 to 5 years. So check this out, guys. Look at this.
Crazy. 5 realities that shows just how bad Europe is compared to America. Number 1, Mississippi, which is the poorest state in the Union, is now wealthier than Europe's top economy, namely the UK, Germany, France, Italy, and Spain. 2, European spending power is collapsing. The disposable income for the average American is now 80% higher than the average is for a UK or French citizen, and 50% higher than it is for a German citizen. 3, European companies have stagnated. When you consider that Nvidia alone is worth more than Germany, France, and UK stock markets combined. But it's even worse in Canada, because you're damn right. Nvidia is worth more than the entire Canadian economy. 4. Europe has the lowest fertility rate of any continent. And again, as conversed in that other video, Europe will probably cease to exist in about 100 years due to the failing fertility rate. And then lastly, 5. Europe, just like Canada, man, I swear to God, this would be a Canada-Europe thing. Well, they're not competitive in anything related to high tech. Anything. There's no Canadian or European company that excels or that innovates in AI, in drone technology, in space exploration, in crypto or blockchain, or in robotics. I mean, for fuck's sakes, at least we have that in Canada. Kudos to us. But Europeans don't even have AC to begin with, alright? So you think you're going to innovate on AI, buddy? You can't even do that.
Ding, 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 ding.
That AC thing is crazy, right? I lived in the UK, and that shit is true. I don't understand. I don't understand why they don't have AC.
Norway doesn't count because they have a lot of oil. They're like the third largest oil producer in the world, right? So people always act like the Norwegian model. Well, the United States, we have more oil than anywhere else in the world. We just won't drill it. You know what I'm saying? So, but if we drilled like how Norway did, man, shoot. So, yeah.
Buster, what do you want to say?
I was gonna say, first off, the Norway thing. There's a reason. If you guys get into geopolitics and military history, you never want to drill your own oil. That's your health bar. If you think a street fighter, oil is how much health you have, and if you can spend other people's, do that first. We want to be the last people on the planet with oil. That is the strategy. If you're considering military show of force, right? Projecting power. But what I wanted to tell Alan was that the other two guys are, well, I guess everybody, gratitude is a very powerful thing for yourself, man. Like if you can become grateful for what you have, and I understand where you're coming from, dude. I was your age before, right? Being grateful for what you have will change your outlook on everything. Instead of this gnawing victimization that you have to constantly struggle and research and basically, I mean, you could always find a good reason, right? But how good does the reason have to be if you basically sell your soul for it? Right? Like your whole life, you're going to be dealing with something that you're not grateful for. That's insanity, bro. It's going to destroy you. Guaranteed. And then another part of what I see is you have like an activist mindset, and that's cool if you're going to pick up a rifle. Short of that, you're going to have a really hard time making a point because you can write all the books you want and you can get people to pick up rifles with a book or with a dialogue or with a debate or whatever. But until they pick up the rifles, it doesn't make a difference. I'm not going to pick up a rifle to try to change the system. I'm too old for that. So I'm not really worried about like the activism aspect. And you might not identify as an activist, but it's kind of the mindset that I'm seeing. And I think we're all watching out for you when we're talking to you. At least I'm trying to.
All right. I mean, we all talked. I'm going to give Alan the floor for a bit, just to, give any points. And then, we're going to try to start closing out the show. All right. So, Alan, any thoughts? I want to give you the floor.
Hey, one sec.
Okay. Well,
by 1 second might be like kind of a sec.
That's fine. Artie, what's your? I'm gonna try to start. Ending out the stream. Any last thoughts, my brother?
Yeah, shout out to everybody once again. B, you said something that was so powerful. Yeah, anything short of violence is just you're offering your back up. You're on your back, exposing your inners to any type of system. So unless you're going to actually put force behind anything you got going, then you're wasting your time. That's for one. But I did want to say this to Alan because I do feel like you have slight activist mindset, but you have to realize of the power that you have just being a part of this country. I don't know if you're familiar with this guy, and there's tons of people I could say just because I'm working on business ideas, and so I'm digging deeper into like certain business people that I've learned about. And there's a guy named Gary Dahl. This fool, way back when, decided to sell rocks, literal rocks. So he grew up, went somewhere down in Mexico, got rocks from a beach, put them in a little cardboard box, a small cardboard box with a piece of paper saying how you love your rock, how you feed your rock, how you take care of your rock, and he made somewhere between $15 to $25 million doing this, and all of those rocks were free. He had a crazy enough idea that he acted upon, and it made him a millionaire overnight. That shit can only happen in this country, nowhere else. This is not going to happen no other place. There's tons of other millionaires I could mention and name, but some of the biggest ones, like Jeff Bezos, started to sell books in his garage with his frumpy wife. Frumpy as hell. And he decided to act upon something, and he just spiraled, and he picked up other things along the way, and now he's I guess him and Elon go back and forth, like, for 1 and 2 of richest men in the world. I'm not saying he didn't do anything else to get that, but that's how it started. So before you have the victim mindset of you can't do anything or it's messed up, we have to change it. Just realize you were already given the opportunity, being blessed to be born in this country. And the last thing I'll say is, if you are going to attempt to do something to change your stance in life or your place in life, be grateful about it. I'm somebody, just me personally, I've suffered from significant vision impairment, and I make YouTube. I do everything that I need to do for myself and my family and stuff like that. And write, that's another outlet you could do. Write these ideas down. I'm not telling you to go make no manifesto, but write them out in a book or something like that. Leave your ideas with this place we call Earth when you're gone. That's all I gotta say.
I fucked with that, Artie.
Yeah, if I can say one thing, guys, just
AJ.
that guy that Andrew Wilson was debating, you guys know he got caught texting underage girls, right?
What?
The guy in the blue shirt? Oh yeah. And it's funny now he's all Mr. Feminist. The guy that you guys were looking at.
Yeah. The guy in the beginning.
Now he's all Mr. Feminist and blah 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 blah. Guys, oh yeah. When he was first on TikTok, he got busted talking to the minors, right? And he tries to sweep it under the rug, and as a way to pivot, like they always do, like Destiny and all these people. They always
Destiny has his. Yeah, Destiny has his things too.
Yeah, they always get caught trying to diddle kids, and it's so funny that the most feminist dudes are always these dudes that are either trying to talk to underage girls or they have no game, so they're trying to sell out their own gender for friggin' trying to get the draws. So yeah, I just wanted to add that. And every time that I see that debate on TikTok, I always add, "Hey, yo, homeboy in the blue shirt got caught trying to diddle kids." In every single TikTok I find. But yeah, guys, it's documented though. There's actual
that sucks.
Text messages and everything. So now, and all these knuckleheaded broads are so stupid. They're like, "Oh, he's the real guy that we need to follow. Why can't all men be like him?" As he's trying to diddle 14-year-olds on Roblox, please.
It's the biological backdoor mating strategy.
Yeah.
So the whole idea is that you infiltrate their group so that you look more empathetic, so that you can access them. It's actually more misogynistic than not being feminist.
Yep.
I mean, what is that? What is that? The kid
me?
that there was that kid, what, Dean Withers or whatever?
Yeah.
They found out that he was like,
don't you?
But they found out that he was a womanizer. They found out he was a womanizer. That he had many women, right? He was.
Racist.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong. Yeah, he owned up to that. It's not like that was like a whole scandal.
I know it's not full scandal, but again, this man is a feminist who had a long line of women.
I don't think Dean Willers is a feminist in the way that you think he's I don't think he's a feminist in the way that you define feminism.
I mean, maybe.
He barely even speaks on women's issues. He's just, I guess he's more empathetic to feminism than you guys are, but he's not a feminist.
No, he makes a lot of money by pandering to chicks and all this other stuff and talking about.
Do you watch his shows?
Yes. And here's the thing: Dean has his Discord feed him answers during debates, right? And he uses GPT. So I don't respect this whole. And
when he brings up sources, though, I mean, if you get a source from ChatGPT, you can still vet said source and say, okay, this is a reliable source.
If I was debating you,
if it's coming from the government,
I wouldn't be Googling stuff the entire time. You Google your arguments and not just what.
I don't think that you really, and I'm not even arguing with you because I'm not going to say that I watch a lot of the stuff that you watch, so I'm not going to, make an argument against them. I don't think you watched a lot of Dean Withers, dude.
I watched how he's on TikTok, and just like Crash Out Kathy, who was on whatever, and they're used to this TikTok debating where you can mute people, instead of actually having an actual debate where it's fair.
I really do not think I really recommend tuning into like a long form stream of his. I think he does it really well compared to like the Parker Get a Jobs and like the Destinies out there. I think he does it a lot better than they do.
Well,
I think that Dean Withers' ability to debate is elementary compared to the great debaters. Like it's not even close.
But Buster, because he has TikTok brain though, he's used to actually debating on TikTok, where it's a controlled debate where all you do is mute and you have Google and Discord.
I still really think you're mischaracterizing the boy with that.
I used to do my atheist debates, and I used to set up in downtown Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and I wouldn't have my Bible app or anything else, and I would debate people about why they were Christians and blah. This is back in my atheist plus I'm so smart days, and now I'm past that. But I wouldn't be constantly looking through the Bible to actually counter what they were saying. I'd have arguments that stood on their own.
Yeah.
The foundational logic of your argument is stronger.
I watched like 2 hours of his, not watched, like I had it in the background when I was dicking around and doing homework. I think he only like actually looked something up that he didn't already have a stat on like twice. Because there was like a hyper specific question they were asking him and he wanted to fact check to make sure that he wasn't lying to his audience. I think that's a lot more noble than pretending that you know what you're talking about all of the time and then lying.
Dean is the blonde haired kid? Or that's Parker?
Yes. Parker's an asshole. I do not like Parker. Dean, I fucks with. I like Dean.
Here's the thing.
He doesn't lie to me.
There's a lot of people, these guys who even I respect. Some of the atheist guys, the Jordan Petersons, the people secular talk. He's a more liberal guy when he debates. He has notes that he takes physically, but he's not Googling stuff. Even that knucklehead from the Young Turks, who I can't stand. I respect.
Oh, Shank Yeager? Are you talking about Shank?
Yeah,
fuck that guy. Oh my god, I hate him.
I don't like him either. He is.
I don't like most of these people either.
He's a smear on the draws of life, but he doesn't need Google or Chat GPT.
You don't think he ever?
No, that's not how debate actually works.
Wait. No. I mean, if you were in a debate and you have all of the information known to man in your pocket, and someone asks you a hyper-specific question that you cannot answer, but you want to make sure that you fact-check before you give an answer to their question, you wouldn't look it up? You would just
say,
stand on
hey, hold on, let me fact-check this really fast. But you don't just look up answers and then be like, ha, ha, ha. Like you don't... What these TikTokers do is they will be looking up answers.
I guess I don't watch the TikTok streams. I don't know what they look like. I watch the YouTube streams.
You can see them looking off to the side.
Me too.
And their Discord is feeding them answers so that they never get caught in a trap, or they never not have a way to counter a claim because their Discord's feeding them arguments. It's crazy.
Right, but if the claim,
you guys
no, wait. If the claim can be countered if you find evidence, it doesn't negate the
if you counterclaim. Claim, and Alan, I go, here, hold on, Alan, let's pause and let me Google this really fast so I can find something to counter you with. That's not a debate, bro.
Right. A debate is about logical proving. Evidence doesn't even come into the equation. If you need to look up evidence for your debate, then you don't have a strong argument.
Okay, like twice every 2 hours, maybe someone will ask him like a hyper-specific question about like the economics of Louisiana, so he Googles it specifically to see if they're lying or to see if they're being truthful. Actually, today he ended up agreeing with someone on a topic because he looked it up and the number they gave was truthful. I'd much rather him concede by looking it up mid-debate than just say, no, you're wrong, and then finding out later that he lied to me.
But that's
I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all.
He actually lets people know he's looking stuff up, fine.
He does.
But a lot of these knuckleheads...
He says, I just looked this up, you're wrong, or I just looked this up, oh my god, you're right, let's talk about that.
I just think
that I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Like Dean, Parker, they do the same thing Ben Shapiro does and Desi does, where they talk really fast so people think they're really smart.
Well,
It's like,
I mean,
no,
here's the thing, right?
Oh, I guess. I
My
guess.
thing is, I do agree with Alan that I don't think it's that bad of idea to look up information. But again, go back to the thing is like I think I mean, you may see these people one way on social media, but when I talked about the little bit of the controversy of Dean, I think they are actually very different in person. That's the controversy that we were talking about, right? With these people, I think they're two-faced, in my honest opinion. So
I think that
Dean
Dean
or any
Withers
of
is
these people,
probably I think he's like the most rational of these like liberal TikTok debaters because he's willing to face these issues head
no,
on.
no, no, no. I'm not talking about how rational it is. I think I just showed you that. I think I believe the man is a womanizer, right? And it kind of
But I don't think it's
shows.
two-faced to
So
not talk about your problems and your vices and flaws all of the time to your audience. Sometimes you really can just stick to the prompt.
well,
I mean, I don't ask you about your like personal experiences every single time you say a prompt. I just ask you why you think that. I don't need your whole life story.
no, but I mean, I mean, my life I live
I don't
by the
think that makes you
same way.
two-faced.
I think again, I mean, I'm not saying him particular. I mean, because I don't watch a whole lot of his shit. I just
can tell, no
assume,
offense.
I just assume that he's the type of man that promote that like promote women's rights and stuff, and yet playing with women on the back.
How, like, a lot of these TikTok political debaters like that Crash Out Kathy and that Naima and Parker, they do these insults. Like they'll be debating a
Thanks for
person
the
like,
$5, Jack.
why are you crashing out? Or, God, why are you so emotional? It's like, why do you got to slide that in there? I'm used to debates where even if it's heated, we stick to the debate, but it seems like there's this like kind of Gen Z extra.
Hey, all I gotta say is we didn't make up the term trigger, baby. We did not come up with that shit. That was you boys.
But at the same time,
That was you guys were the facts over feelings guys. So
there's
I
a
think it's kind of
difference
funny when we bring it up.
triggered and disrespectful because you're being a debate. This would be
It's
like
a debate with a 24-year-old on TikTok debating a 21-year-old with a mic. I don't think it's a
but
debate.
even informal debates where you watch Andrew Wilson and that Naima chick or whatever.
I don't think
like,
that's a normal debate either.
No, but they actually had a formal debate where they actually had sides and were taking time, and that was a formal debate. Wait,
you're saying that the second Naida debate was a formal debate?
No, look, the
Andrew
setting
lost his fucking mind over semantics. That was embarrassing for Andrew Wilson.
No, you can tell Alan doesn't. He doesn't understand debate. He doesn't understand debate.
If I challenge you to a debate,
you think
we
that's
actually
fine.
sit down and we have a moderator and we have rules and we keep time. Hey, buddy, that's a debate.
Hey, actually, guys,
did you
real
do
quick,
debate class
I love debate.
Okay, then sure, I'll concede on your idea. Yeah, your definition of debate. Sure,
That's
you're right.
not a debate.
Okay, then you're right.
I had an idea, and maybe AJ, I can bring you in on this, and I have some other people that are interested. And also, people have been telling me to hop on your thing, AJ. I just haven't found a topic I wanted to hop in on yet, so maybe one day you'll have me. But I think it would be cool to sit down and stream a classic high-end debate and then break it down like an aftermath report or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, break down exactly the mechanisms they're using and how they're behaving. So if any of you guys would be interested in that, that would be, I think, a lot of fun.
Yeah, I just think that people see these gotcha moments or these triggers that, like, these Gen Z people try and trigger a person, and then they think that they won when that person's been triggered. It's like, you lose when you do ad hominems. When you go, "Hey, bro, what are you doing this for?" You lose. Stick to the arguments. This would be like saying we're gonna fence. Like we agreed to a fencing match. Then I kick DA in the balls and be like, "What are you triggered for, bro?" It's like you kicked me in the balls. That's not part of the debate.
Earlier today, I think, and I'll say this, and I'm not going to speak on this for too long because you're right. I'm not going to completely disagree with you. It is just sensationalized nonsense, no matter what side you look at it from. Earlier today, and I'm sure he made a clip out of this somewhere on his. I don't even follow this TikTok. I don't even have TikTok. I don't really know what you're talking about. I just watched the YouTube version. But there was this guy that was arguing the semantics of what rape means, and then they kind of got into that, which culminated.
I need you to say grape. Do not say the R word.
Why not?
Because the
Yeah,
stream
it's a taboo on street. It's taboo for
not
YouTube.
Oh, is there like an AI that like goes over
Yes, there's
the
a
words?
They
there's
do
an
sometimes.
algorithm. There's an
Oh,
algorithm,
that's
and you will
fucked
get
up.
DA's stream taken down. Yes.
Yeah, not
Oh,
easy
my bad. I'll
for.
say,
Yeah.
my bad. Yeah, okay, so they were arguing the semantics of that, which led to a whole slew of things. I guess I'm not going to get into the whole conversation, but I found this very interesting, which ended up with, okay, so what is the morality on child exploitation? Like, what does it count as? You know, and then Dean gave I guess, a reasonable explanation, and then the guy was like, okay, but like that's just your opinion. And Dean was like that you shouldn't look at underage girls naked. And then the guy was like, well, I mean, who even like created that law? Like, I guess that really is just an opinion. And that's when Dean lost his mind and like started like yelling and being like, what the fuck are you talking
Yeah,
about? You know
but
what I'm saying? So it's
that's
like,
proving that you don't have a foundational argument. Like I know that guy was probably. I mean, even if he was a creep,
that guy
he's
wasn't.
probably
Whoa. Are you
exaggerating.
being serious?
No, I'm saying the guy that
There's no
was.
foundational argument that children shouldn't be looked at naked. Just on a basic human level, we need a like
You're
divine
not
law
listening.
against that. My bad.
No. I think his argument was that it is a man-made law.
His argument is
That's the
that
argument.
Trump should not be punished if he is found in the Epstein files. That was his argument.
Well, no. I don't know. I don't know anything about the overarching thing.
That's what I'm saying. That's what he was arguing against.
That's an
That's just
example.
insanity.
That was an example of the difference between using a foundational argument and a specific argument. That's all I was trying to point out. Also, hey guys, I dropped my Discord link in the Streamlabs thing. If you guys want to debate, that would be really cool. I'd love to have you, Alan, Phoenix, AJ, DA. You guys drop bars
Put it
constantly.
in the chat. Put it in the regular chat.
Yeah, guys. Here's the thing.
Oh, okay.
You put it in private chat.
Hold on. Someone has.
I saw.
said,
I mean, it's in there.
Do debates
I got it.
and then
All right, thanks, man. Thank you, Buster.
Someone says do debates and then grade them. Wait, do debates and then grade it with stats. Guys, debates are not about changing the mind of the other person. Guys,
Oh, you don't think that either? I disagree with you. No, I think that that's a really odd. Yeah, but when the audience is like 11 people, I think that you should be debating the person.
If one person in that audience is like, man, that Allen guy makes sense. You've won, bro.
Yeah, but it's your channel. I'm not expecting that at all.
No. We're talking about
I'm expecting to challenge your beliefs.
No, but listen, you challenge
your beliefs, not the audience's beliefs.
Yes, but hold on. I'm talking about if you and I are at Oxford, and there's 500 people in there, you are challenging my beliefs, but you're doing it for the audience. To hell if I actually am convinced of what you're saying is true. It's for the audience. That's the whole point of debate, why it's enriching to the culture as a whole.
And I agree with you, but I also
ways that they've never thought about before.
I agree with you, but I also think that that is also an easy cop-out to say, I don't care what you said, I'm going to be stubborn and not change my mind. Meh.
Did I say that?
No, I'm just saying that's... No, I'm not saying you said that. No, I know you're a normal person. I'm just saying that I feel like some people fall back on that as a crutch.
No, I'm saying that...
Not a crutch. It's the foundational purpose.
Thank you. If there's
okay, then I'll concede on that, whatever. I don't know what to tell you.
Disagree on that, I'm just probably never going to change his mind. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to try and do arguments or whatever, fine. But maybe in our back and forth, the world can benefit from that back and forth. It's about the greater good. It's not just my ego. I'm going to kick the shit out of Buster Cheeks. That's not my. I don't have an ego like that. But I think
you guys are actually respectful. For the record, I've actually been. I'm gonna be honest with you, boys. I use this mostly as prep for other things. I have been going on a beautiful rabbit hole that I'm probably gonna actually like write a full thing on just because I find it fun to do so, but I've been really busy lately. Anyway, I took it upon myself because I'm just so fucking cool. No, I'm just kidding. But I don't know. I've watched mostly like liberal-ish news sources. I'm a Ground News subscriber, so it's not all liberal. I get to read a lot of conservative stuff.
Into the trap of this sensationalized gotcha.
No, I know. That's what I'm getting to. I'm saying that I have called in, including DA show. I have now called in and had like long form conversations with 19 different conservative YouTube channels and or call-in shows. And I am like been recording my like data of like what we talk about, how they treat me, et cetera, and it's been very interesting.
But
And
look
that's
at,
mostly why I'm doing this.
and I
I'm
know
not.
you
I like
don't like,
arguing, obviously.
I know you don't like Andrew Wilson. Look at how Andrew Wilson, Matt Dillahunty, who's an atheist, Christopher Hitchens. Look at how they would
Yeah.
debate.
Oh
Douglas
yeah, no, they're
Murray.
very formal about it, I suppose. Can we admit that last night debate, Andrew kind of lost his mind
Because
a
she
little
was
bit.
driving him absolutely insane. Naima
No, I
was
know, but like he
contradicting.
completely lost his mind on the objective morality thing. I don't know why he couldn't just drop it. Why didn't he just drop it?
Because she wouldn't answer his questions. When
She was answering his questions like fine, dude. It really wasn't that bad.
He was saying that.
I will say, boys, that I don't think any. I mean, I love Christopher Hitchens, but
Yeah.
he can get dominated too. What I'm saying is, like, even like Matt Dillahunty, I don't think he has good arguments.
Yeah,
I don't even disagree with him, but I don't think he's that good.
Buster, I don't agree with him anymore, even though I used to really, really like him, but then they let the Church of Woke inside of the atheist community.
No, not the
right?
Church of Woke. Oh
Because
no.
here's the thing. They used to talk about evolution and science and all this other stuff, but now everything is about pronouns and men can be women. Matt Dillahunty says trans women are women, and the science says it's like, dude, weren't you
Oh
all
my
about-
god. Wait. People. Someone asked them to call them a woman, and then someone called them a woman. Are you kidding me?
No. He's trying to
Are
say
you
things-
wait? Are you joking? Did that happen today?
Okay,
Oh my god! I gotta get my pitchforks ready.
I was in the atheist community debating and fighting against these nuts way before you.
Excuse me.
You were, buddy. All right, I'm talking. Sir,
Yeah, I know that.
2002, 2003.
I'm not like I understand.
2012, man. I've actually been in debates in person where people came up and kicked my table.
Hey, good for you.
Assaulted me, right? All because
Well, that's not great.
I don't
But good
believe
for
in
you.
Jesus, right? What I'm saying is that when we used to do these free thought, free thinker groups, we would go to they'll have a gathering, and there was former Mormons, there was former Mennonites, there was Democrats, Republicans, libertarians, everyone there. We were unified on the whole "we aren't Christians" or Muslims thing, the whole non-belief thing. Then what happened? There was a gatekeeping that said you had to be on the left to be here. It fractured. All of a sudden, it wasn't about belief. It was about are trans women. And I'm sorry, but it became an atheist T plus and not atheism plus. And that's when I said, look, now the atheist community, I align more, even though I'm not religious, more with Christians, because atheists now do more of the dogmatic foolishness that we claim Christians. They'll excommunicate you if you don't have your pronouns there. They're intolerant of anyone else's political beliefs or religious beliefs. Trust me, I'm not welcome in a lot of these other groups because I'm more conservative now.
I think their issue is because a lot of the issues that. So let me just say this. I gotta go, and I was sorry. I had to step out for a minute. It's been some shit happened. I will say this though, in opposition to your, and I'm just gonna say this from my perspective as like a young quote unquote liberal that you are referring to, I suppose, the group that I guess call home. So they see these things as inherently disrespectful, and whether or not you agree with that or not, that's your opinion. That's totally fine. But like they see I mean, you brought it up out of thin air that they say that transgender women are women. See, they see that as like an inherently disrespectful and callous thing to believe.
But respect,
right? I know. I'm just saying that like your idea that it's trivial. No. But I'm saying that your idea that it's trivial is not trivial to them. So yeah, I don't really blame said group for not wanting to, for being a little bit more cynical towards you.
Atheism, the atheist community of Austin and Matt Dillahunty and all this stuff, we are the party of truth. All you Christians are all crazy. We base our beliefs in truth, right?
Well, I think that's fucking retarded too.
No. But that's what Matt Dillahunty's been saying for 25 years. We believe
He's a sensationalist.
You guys all believe
Yeah,
in
of course
fairy
he is.
tales, but here's the thing: but they believe trans women are women.
Once again, that's your opinion. That to
Oh,
them, it's
guys,
their life.
we could definitely have that as a separate thing, right?
Can
I mean,
We could.
I've had that as a thing.
Can I ask Alan one question before he leaves?
Yes, please.
How
And
many
nice to meet
times
you,
a
by the
day-
way. I don't know if I've met you before.
How many times a day are you hyper specific?
Huh?
How many times a day are you hyper specific?
I don't understand why everyone's laughing. I don't get the joke. Did I miss something earlier?
You say that a lot. It means like it's like if
The word hyper-specific? I think it's a fun word to say, and I think it does actually account for a lot of
It's not a
things.
word. It's a made
Well,
up
do
word.
you know what I mean when I say hyper-specific?
Not really. It's
Okay, then I'll explain it. Okay, yes, I think that a lot of things we do are quote-unquote hyper-specific.
No. It's like an or an or a It's like a
Inaudible pause.
Right.
What?
It's a
Okay, show of hands here, because let's be honest here, I talk a lot better than a lot of the other fucking liberal people you see on TikTok. Can we agree on that?
Well, you don't.
You're saying that my saying hyper-specific is an and an ah? I don't agree with that. Come on now, that's insane. That's actually an insult. That's an insult. Why are we insulting each other?
A little bit more is if
Mental
you actually look at how
mental insult.
Oh, sorry. If you look at how like that Naima chick or that Crash Out Kathy and all them, how they're disrespectful to the people that they debate, and then once that person crashes out a little bit, or they're so uncooperative, they won't answer a direct question. This is just like a modern day thing where have you ever asked a person a question? You'll be like, "Hey, DA, how do you feel about Dodge Chargers?" He's like, "Well, actually, I don't believe that cars are the thing to do." Da, 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 da. You're like, "DA, what questions did I ask you?" I don't remember. It's like because you didn't answer my question directly. Once you actually look and see how often people don't answer questions directly and how frustrated that gets people, right? Like when Andrew said that he has objective morality because he's a Christian.
Wait, hyper-specific is a word.
No.
I just looked it up. Hyper-specific is 100% a word. No, I'm not past that. I'm not past that at all. Wait. You just came in here to say that. Hyper-specific is a word.
They're saying that you use it too much.
But it's a word. He said it's not a word. I got scared because I was like, damn, is it actually not a word? I guess I'm going to have to take it out. It's 100% a word.
It is not a word.
With a hyphen, it is an accepted word
How can
within the English lexicon. That is insanity.
How can specific be hyper specific?
Like, okay, I'll give you an example. When I asked my roommate for a Busch Light instead of a Budweiser from the fridge earlier, right? You don't care about that at all. The only people that would be affected by that is me and him, right? Not even the rest of my household. Like, that's a hyper-specific ask. Because if I ask for a beer, that's a specific ask. Okay, but in the grand scheme of things, I think that it's more hyper-specific. That's what I'm saying.
No, I like words. You can't put hyper in front of everything.
I also like words. Yeah, I mean, you definitely can put it in front of everything. I do. Okay, then I'll just say specific. I think it just rolls off the tongue nicely. I like how it sounds.
Specific?
Yeah, it just sounds nice. And you know what I'm talking about anyway.
I just wanted to say, guys, I really appreciate it. I'm just going to say my piece, say my goodbyes.
Yes, sir.
Man, I love your channel. Alan, I see you in the comments for a while on the videos. And I don't mind interacting with you, dude. You're a lot of fun. I think if we all join forces, or at least even if me and you join forces, I think maybe we could help each other. Phoenix, bro, you get the point across exactly how you need to. AJ, it's awesome listening to you. Jackass, this is my first time ever seeing you, but I do watch your comments and you do a kick-ass job. If any of you guys want to try to improve your debate skills or just talk about anything, I would love to have you on the Discord. It's in the comments and in the Streamlabs. You're all welcome. We can talk about anything. And I hope to see you guys soon. Thank you, BA. Goodbye.
See you, Buster. Peace.
AJ,
It's not a word. It's not a word.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just say specific. Hyper doesn't add anything to the word specific.
I think that it can when I'm just
No,
talking because I like
no,
talking and I like saying that
no,
word.
no. Be concise in your words. Hyper
Do
doesn't
you
have
guys not think?
anything to specific.
Okay,
Is
thank you for
is
your
Uh,
opinion on the matter. I'm probably never going to change it because it's a fun word to say, but I appreciate the
no,
input.
Yeah, I don't want to do
make
whatever he
it sound
wants. He thinks
stupid.
that's cool.
it's fine.
I imagine, Alan, you're a person who uses problematic a lot.
I don't think I've said the word problematic. I actually have a big problem with the word problematic, actually. I was actually doing a debate about that a couple weeks ago, and then I talked with my friends about it.
Well,
So
the
no,
answer
I
to
don't
me
use it. I don't
time.
use it ever, actually. I try to avoid it as much as humanly possible.
Well, good for
Good guess,
you.
though.
Okay, good for you. So there's something that we shared. We do not like the
So
word
do you have another
problematic.
one that you think that I use a lot? You got
Hyper.
another guess
Yeah.
for me?
Do not use hyper specific anymore.
Sir, yes, sir. Thank you for
Whiskey.
your input.
AJ, any last words?
What the fuck was that?
Yeah, just I don't do debates because I cuss people out, guys. I'm serious. People just because like now we live in this age of where debates just kind of gone down the toilet and everyone's trying to get gotcha moments and they're trying to trigger people and all this other stuff. And then they see someone that actually does know how to debate, that's actually playing within the rules, and a person who's not, and think that the person who's not is winning because they're like making people laugh or whatever when that's not what debate's for. Right, so I don't debate because I'll just cuss you out. And people will be there with their audience, and you've seen people on both sides get caught where they needed to concede, but they can't because because their audience is there. So they'll just double down and look like an idiot. And it's like, that's when I'll just call you a retard. I'm like, you are an idiot. Either you're stupid or you're an idiot or your mom just dropped you on your head. So guys, I don't debate. I just don't because people just don't know how to do it in good faith. I know the whole debate sphere is blowing up. That's like the major thing to do on YouTube now is debate. But I just like having organic panel style discussions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
no, I'm with you.
People
I
come
agree.
in, we laugh, we joke, and that's where I told DA this. All the old school red pill guys are out of here. You're fresh and funky, and all those guys with the books and the courses, they're out of here. Guys like DA and me, where we laugh and joke, we don't take this stuff serious. We have panels, we laugh, we have fun. Guys, we just want to sit back. Some men just like to watch the world burn. That's us. We laugh, we have fun, and if I debate, it's not fun. So, but
I prefer a conversation. I make it a conversation.
Yeah. I'm down with that.
Yeah. So, all right, guys.
All right.
See you, Jay.
Alan,
Thank
I'll give you the last word, right? So just give me a
I
minute.
don't really have the last word. No, dude, I literally just want to say thanks for having me on. I genuinely learn a lot whenever I talk with you, stream or not. I like I just like arguing. Like, it's just in my nature. It's always been this way. I just like getting bored and arguing. I'll be honest with you. But I do genuinely take things that you say, like, into account. Like, I genuinely care. You know what I mean? I find it very interesting. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying I'm not making fun of you behind your back or anything. I actually respect the shit out of you for even wanting to talk to me in the first place. Appreciate you having me on, brother.
It's all good. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here.
Yeah,
you're always welcome. Anything any disagreements you see, we're always down for another conversation.
I did just want to say, on one last thing. Like, seriously, I'm not gonna take up much of your time. I think it's probably good for you to get a little pushback as well. I don't know how many, like, I guess, no offense to you really, but like when you bring up some things and I ask you like where'd you get it from, like it's not me trying to be disingenuous. I'm literally trying to see where you got that opinion from. Because I have my opinion because of another data set. I'm just saying, like, I'm curious where you're feeling these things.
No, I don't mind pushback. This is why I invited you again the second time,
yes,
right?
Sir.
This is
why
I'm fine with. So anytime you find a disagreement, I'm always down for more, right?
Yes, sir. Well, DA, you have yourself a wonderful night, brother. Thank you, man.
Love you, bro.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
Bars, my brother. Any last words? What are your thoughts tonight? You can talk as much as you want, my brother. I love you.
I love you too, man. I just want to. We have to draw the line in the sand and understand that maybe more so of a younger point of view is not going to mesh with an older point of view. Because the older point of view, hey, if you was born a man, you's a man. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. If you was born with XY, you are XY. It's not changing that. You know what I'm saying? The younger generation might think you can change that. I think the younger generation pretty much just thinks if I think it is true, and that's not the case. The older generations are more based on facts, facts over feelings. Like you said, we're more based off of that. The younger generation, they kind of just, I call it Crawleyism. Just do what I want. I do whatever I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it. A woman can be a man can be a woman, whatever, whatever. They think that. Now, I don't feel anybody should be discriminated on. No, I don't agree with discrimination. But you are a man. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep 100. Let's just be honest. And I think that's the kind of like the problem overall. People are not being honest. People are getting in where they fit in. They're not being honest, man. And that's the only thing. It's like, be honest, dog. If you was born a man, you're a man no matter if you put a wig on. Even if you get your balls cut off, you're still a man. I'm sorry.
I agree.
That's just how I think of it, you know. And I don't agree that just because I think it in my mind, it's true. I don't believe that. That's insanity. And these people just go along to be the get-wits, what we used to call at school get-wits. They get along to go. They go along to get along. They just do whatever. And I think that's I can't even say the word, but I think that's messed up that they do that. You know, I think that's really messed up because the truth is the horse. What they say, a horse is a horse. Of course, unless we talking about the famous Mr. Ed, and that's just what I think it is. You know what I'm saying? The truth is the truth. No matter if it hurts your feelings or whatever. I'm sorry if it does, but the truth is the truth. If you was born a man, even if you get your balls cut off, you're still a man. I'm sorry.
I agree.
That pretty much that's it. I just wanted to get it off my chest because I think it's messed up that it's such a divide. And honestly, one more thing. Honestly, I feel that we, the older generation, we need to. I don't know. That's why in the way I got so mad at Alan. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like we need to fight the insanity.
Yeah.
Because we can't let this continue on. We can't let this insanity continue on, man. We gotta stop it. We gotta cut it off. We gotta cut the cancer out. And regardless if these leftists think so or not, it's cancer. It's poison. It's going to do nothing but destroy our civilization. It goes back to the point I said a couple weeks ago. We cannot let these liberalists, these women, or whoever destroy what we built. We built this. And we can't let them destroy it. That's my only thing where it's like, I will go at somebody like Alan. I will go at somebody like Alan because your way of thinking is, I don't understand it. It's not how I was taught. I was taught to methodology on how to, you know, get the answer closest to the truth as you can get. You know, that's just what I was taught. And your feelings don't have nothing to do with it. You know, sorry. Peace.
No. I love it. You know, get that off your chest. I love that. Thank you for being here, everyone. Thank you, Big Bars.
Peace, brother. I love you, man.
I love you. I love you, brother. All right. Guys, I love you. You guys are amazing. Sism, Steve, Evil Eddie, you guys are amazing. Red Door, Jack, Whiskey, Buster, all you guys are all amazing, right? I love you guys. Thank you guys for all the love and support. Alan, thank you for being here. Like I said, I mean, this is the thing we gotta recognize. He's still young, a young man. He's still a young man. So, you know, we gotta give them a little bit of a little leeway, right? They think they understand the world, which honestly they don't. Right? We've been there, we lived it, right? So we understand it in, I think, a different way. So it's not a bad thing to impart just different point of views onto the younger generation. But, you know, we got to give it a leeway, right? I mean, like, we all knew it, right? When we were young, we thought we were, you know, what is it? You know, we thought we knew everything. So, Red Door, thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, everyone, for being here, all right? You guys are all amazing. I love you guys, right? I really do. I can't say how much I humbly thank you for all you guys for being here and all the support you guys show me, right? You guys are amazing people. I love you guys. For anyone who, I don't know if anyone who, you know, is not subscribed still watching, right? But if you're not, please do. Please do. You know, please check out my other lives. Please check out my other videos, right? Guys, I love you, right? You guys are all amazing. Anything else? I think that's it for tonight. All right? You guys are all amazing. So, have a good night, guys. Have a good night, my family. All right? You guys are amazing. I love you guys, all right? I do. Later, guys.